The year was 1977. Children flocked to theaters in record numbers. The movie Star Wars. Coming soon to a theater near you. Yo, so hey guys. How do you feel about Star Wars? Do you buy all the toys, or are you one of those people who hate Star Wars? Are you a...
You're a Trekkie.
You a
You
Trekkie?
a Trekkie?
You a Trekkie?
Yeah, Star Wars.
Star Wars isn't good, even though everybody goes and sees it. Nobody got CBS All Access for the new Star Trek show.
Star Wars is inferior to Star Trek. They have replicators.
Deep Space Nine was better than the original trilogy. Yo, even Star Trek fans know that's bullshit.
God, yeah.
Like, I got buddies who are Star Trek fans. They know Deep Space Nine is shit.
Star Trek Enterprise better than Star Wars.
Yeah. Star Trek Enterprise is better than the original trilogy because the originals were not good and the prequels were actually pretty good, but
They weren't thrilling enough.
the first one bored me. Star Wars was boring. And meanwhile, we're sitting there trying to watch the Star Trek movie, and it's like molasses. I enjoy the Star Trek movies, so don't get me wrong. But like the original Star Trek movie, if you're not the right kind of fan who likes some weird sci-fi stuff from like the 50s, 60s, that kind of era, you're probably going to hate that movie because it feels like it's from 1965, 67 kind of thing. And the movie came out in like 1980. So like the same year Empire Strikes Back came out. So yeah, Star Wars was kind of ahead on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a perfect place to start. You can't talk Star Wars without talking about the film that actually is called Star Wars. When A New Hope came out, it was called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. It's like, that would have made no sense.
Everybody would have been like, where's the first three? When
And
did that happen?
people don't believe me, but I really think the prequels and all that other stuff was an afterthought. I think George was sitting around like, I have to do something. He was sitting there. He had just done like Howard the Duck, and he had like not had anything successful since
Howard
Return of the Jedi. And then all of a sudden, the special editions come out, but let's go all the way back to the beginning there. In 1977, can you imagine being a kid who sees this kind of dopey trailer, Star Wars, and you're like, there's nothing better at the theater this week.
Yeah.
That first group of kids didn't know.
Some people just had their parents are just like, I'm taking you to a movie to see.
Yeah.
Okay,
we're going to see it's called Star Wars. Let's see what this is. And then there's people swinging, and they blow up a Death Star. Like, that kind of stuff didn't happen. Like, people complain. They're like, oh, that movie's boring now. It's like, you have to remember.
It's not boring at all.
That movie's not boring at all.
Yeah.
And it came out, 35 years before the Avengers? And let's see the Avengers touch that. Avengers has no weight in anything. Like, none of them's going to die. I will say this, Infinity War was better. And Marvel's getting much better. Like, the last couple of years here, they've been doing good.
Now at the end, now they're good.
Yeah. They didn't start well, but they're sticking the landing.
Yeah,
so
they
that's
started
cool.
well. Iron Man
was
strong.
good, and then it was like shit. I mean, you have to remember, after Iron Man came out, like, we still got, like, at least, like, 20 terrible superhero movies since then.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll defend Spider-Man 3. The first 2/3 of that movie aren't bad, but...
Have fun with that. You're
Oh
going to have
my
a lot of
gosh.
people fighting you on that one.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Star Wars here. Star Wars 4, A New Hope.
But it's not Star Wars 4, it's Star Wars.
Okay, but now it is Star Wars.
George Lucas.
When was A New Hope added then? Huh?
They called it A New Hope when the special editions came out in like 70... No. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. 1997.
1997. That's a long time.
Yeah, that's when the special editions came out. And that's why I have a Laserdisc player and people make fun of me. I have the original trilogy that I could just pop in and watch.
But The Empire Strikes Back was The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah.
So it was Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it goes
It's
Star
the
Wars,
second one.
Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. They were not Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 5. You know, they weren't called that.
Well, I
they
get
were...
that, but you don't have to have A New Hope.
Yeah, I know.
Just have Star Wars
A New Hope.
but it kind of sounds.
At least, heck, even Friday the 13th knew better than to like call the fourth one Friday the 13th Part 4. They just called it the final chapter. It's literally not called Part 4. It's called the final chapter. And then there were 12 more movies. Now there was 8 more movies because they've done 12 of them, but they really need that 13th. But with Star Wars, I just gotta say this: like the original trilogy is one of the all-time great trilogies, except for one thing. And I know you're either in one camp or the other. I know some people who think Return of the Jedi is like a great movie, and I have other people who think Return of the Jedi is absolute garbage.
Oh, it's a great movie. It is a great movie.
I think
it stands up with the other.
I'm in the middle. I think it has some great moments, and then you sit there and think about it, and you're like, the Ewoks defeated the Empire. Teddy bears with sticks and rocks.
Yeah, but they also had the element of surprise, and
people were trying to tell me.
Everybody's saying, yeah, they're teddy bears, but like still, they have.
You have armored tanks, and you have guns and lasers and shit, and you're going up against teddy bears with rocks.
Yeah.
Armored tanks are gonna take out fucking teddy bears.
Well, think about this. At the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, when
that's a great.
When the AT-ATs are coming and and they just trip them and they fall, and one ship comes by and shoots 2 bullets at the thing, and the whole thing blows up. It's just like, so
why didn't you just
all you
shoot
have to do is shoot them in the back and they'll blow up? What's taking you so long?
Why don't we just fly behind them and shoot?
Yeah, so there was kind of a it's kind of a physics problem there. Maybe it opened up.
Star Wars has always been. Star Trek's actually a lot more accurate than Star Wars, so that is the one thing I'll give Star Trekkies credit for. Yeah. I have how many Star Wars posters in my basement, and then compare how many Star Trek posters do you see? You see that one over there? Yeah, that one. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have one. That's right. We just lost a subscriber.
Note, he has 2 Star Wars Episode 3 posters next to each other.
Revenge of the... I got those when I was 9 years old. I'll thank you. So, I'd saved up Cheetos box tops. The one were regular ones, and then the other one were these like twist things. They were the fucking shit. Well, one of the best things I ever had.
What I was saying to you earlier is I had an aunt that worked at TV Guide. If anyone remembers that old company or is still using it, people still use that.
There are still people who use
TV Guide.
TV Guide. Yeah. My grandparents do.
Yeah. Well, that's good. They're still going as a company. The guide on the TV didn't screw them over too much, but there was special edition Star Wars covers for TV Guide, and I got a bunch of covers put together into some frames, and it looks pretty nice with them all next to each other. I don't think I have a complete set, but it's...
You have that at your house?
Set. Yeah.
You got to show me next time I'm over.
Yeah, I will.
You'll show me tomorrow.
Yeah. We're making on some music.
Making all that music.
Making some music.
Because people like original music, right? Oh, wait a minute, they don't? Okay, so I got to do a podcast. That's good. Hey, so guys. Guys, I don't want to make you feel like you're my number 2, but I'd rather be doing music.
Well, Star Wars...
You're number 2. No.
Star Wars
Star Wars is awesome, though.
Star Wars starts out with showing the rebels and the Empire fighting in a ship, right?
And then episode 5 opens with the Empire and the rebels fighting. And then episode 6 opens with Jabba the Hutt. No, I really love episode 4 and 5, if we're just going to call them that because it makes it easy, rather than calling them their real names. No, I'm joking. I'm not a purist. I have an episode 3 poster. I have 2. I'm not a Star Wars purist. I don't think that there's only 4 and 5 and the rest of them are bad. I'd say, not to really spoil things, but I'd probably give...
You can spoil the movie. I'm sure they've been out long enough.
I don't want to spoil Star Wars for you.
If you haven't seen it...
But episode 5's got a crazy twist. I think, for me, I'd say 4 and 5 are masterpieces. 6 is a movie I would give my special edition grade, where it's worth owning and it's worth getting a cool thing, and it's fucking Star Wars, man. Just watch the whole original trilogy. I just think if I'm going to pick a trilogy, I have the Dark Knight trilogy above it. I got Lord of the Rings above it. I got the Godfather trilogy above it, because those first two Godfather movies are insanely good.
Well, yeah, the Return of the Jedi definitely had the weakest, like, when I watched it today.
It has weak writing,
It has some weak
It has
scenes.
a fun, dopey feel to it.
Like when Luke was talking to Leia and telling her that he's his sister, it just kind of like...
He's his sister?
It looped around... Yeah.
She's his sister. Yeah,
that's okay in today's society.
He's a sister too.
Yeah. But
Lando's a brother.
I just felt like that scene could have been like written a bit better. But the atmosphere and everything else was perfect. Like,
I like the ending,
George Lucas has like amazing 90% of the time, and then he just like falls short a couple scenes in there.
Yeah.
And stuff.
6 is one that falls apart here and there. Episode 1, because I know that's gonna be the big discussion. But for what I have to say, like, that original trilogy's great.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely worth watching for anybody.
I would definitely recommend it. If you have
Star
not
Wars,
seen Star Wars yet, it's...
Yeah, watch Star Wars, then watch
definitely-
Empire Strikes Back, then watch Return of the Jedi, and then come back, rewatch this podcast for the rest of this, and you'll get some prequel knowledge. Now, here's the thing about the prequels. I don't think they're that bad.
Oh, no, they're definitely not.
I have people tell me, like, they're the worst movies ever made. It's the worst trilogy of all time. I'm like, 50 Shades of Grey has 3 movies. Don't come at me.
While watching them, you have to think about is that the last... I'm just call them the last 3, but it's not the last 3. The original 3 that came out was a world where the Sith ruled. So it's all dark. It's all like this. It's not like government or anything. It's dictatorship and all that. So it's a different world. When you get to the prequels, the way that I saw it was like the first movie was the Jedi ruled. There was no Sith really. I mean, there was Palpatine, of course, and he had Darth Maul, but like they were like at their weakest at that point. So it was kind of an uppity feeling, and that's why the movie was that way. And then the second kind of doled down because Palpatine had more power. Count Dooku was a very strong Jedi. He was a Jedi that went to be a Sith.
And that's freaking Christopher Lee, who was Dracula.
Lee,
For all my horror hounds in there, man.
And Saruman.
Christopher Lee's awesome.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he made a metal album.
Yeah.
He's the oldest person to make a metal album. He released it like a couple weeks before he died. He was 93 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they CGI'd, I almost said Vincent Price. Oh, I can't believe that. The guy who played Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
Not Christopher Lee, but IMDb to the rescue, right?
Yeah.
So IMDb comes in handy, especially when you do a podcast show about movies.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on. Literally, I just want Star Wars. Don't give me Last Jedi. No. Oh, you're gonna give me they give me so I type in Star Wars. Here's the results: Solo, a Star Wars story, Episode 9, which has no title.
Yeah.
Rogue One, Last Jedi, and then we get Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Oh.
Well, I mean, they are newer. So
Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing. I had to scroll down a whole bunch. I love the first Star Wars movie. I think it's a cute... You could be any age. It's like that Wizard of Oz kind of thing, where the movie's just so good all around. I have such a fun time watching the first Star Wars movie.
So, like,
I love it.
The way that I say, if you're going to watch the first
movie,
you kind of have to go into it thinking that, like, it's a Jedi movie. It's about the Jedis more than anything else. It's about Anakin being...
I like Episode 1, Phantom Menace. I have fun with it.
Yeah.
I
if
don't
you
think
really
it's a good
think
movie,
about
but
it, it's great. Like the history
Jar
of it.
Jar
It's like,
Binks. If you cut Jar Jar Binks out of the episode 1, I think it's a good movie.
I don't think he should have been cut out of the movie. I just think if he was toned down a bit.
Yeah, I can
If
see
he
that.
was toned down a bit,
If he wasn't a
He'd be good
retarded
fit.
guy.
Like,
He's
so
a Jar
the
Jar
way that I
Binks.
think about it is that there's a lot of scenes throughout Star Wars where George Lucas has scenes where there's like little humor that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, like a
he has-
scruffy looking Nerf
Yeah,
herder
like
and-
and like little tiny stuff. So he's good at like instantaneous humor, but like the long type of humor that he wanted with Jar Jar Binks, which was a whole movie,
bad.
he wasn't good at executing that. And
The fucking Ewoks
what I didn't really
were better
notice
than Jar Jar.
when watching it when I was younger was that Jar Jar Binks is actually in the second and the third movie.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's on the side.
He's less and less
Yeah.
there. And that's the thing. If you look at ratings for these movies, the first movie is the only rotten from critics of all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And I'm not counting the Ewok ones because we're going to get to that shit at the end. Because I really don't feel like needing to talk about Ewoks right now because, oh my goodness. But with the prequels, episode 1, I feel like if you shave Jar Jar out or you make his character a little bit more believable, make him more of like a... If Joe
you look-
Pesci from Lethal
like,
Weapon 3.
I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but if you look at Jar Jar Binks and then you look at everybody else in his like society,
all
everybody's so
smarter.
clear and stuff. He's got to have some mental deficiency or something.
Yeah.
Like he's got to like
He has Jar Jar syndrome.
or he's perfectly clear, but he was raised by some parents that had mental
Maybe he's
deficiencies.
just a cockney.
And he
you
thinks
know?
that's how it is. Yeah.
Yo, he's just a cockney. He's like, hey, mate,
Except he sounds
brother on
nothing
the
like
south side, you
It's
see?
all right, how you
All
doing
right.
there? It's all
I'm
right.
from north side London. You from west side. I know. What's your matter, bruv? What you talking, bruv?
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, my gosh. But
one thing that I picked up, it's from the second movie, was they started to lose the Jedi started to lose their power because in the one scene I had it written down was Samuel L. Jackson, who's Mace Windu, and Yoda were sitting in like I guess the chambers where they just have conversation. It's like they sit on these stone slabs, which would be comfortable at all. But he came and sat there, and he's like, "Should we tell them that our powers in the Force are starting to diminish?"
are you serious? That's
Yeah.
actually a line in there.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No, in the second movie he says that, and
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't believe I haven't watched that movie in so many years.
Mhm.
I haven't watched that since we were going to see Force Awakens, so it's been a while.
yeah. So I have two theories on that. It's either because Palpatine was starting to gain more dominance, or because Anakin was starting to become more emotional
And more powerful.
and more powerful. And he in
He
the
changed the
first
balance
in the
of the
first
Force.
movie he was revealed to have no father. He has
How
no father. So basically,
What if
he
Jar
was-
Jar is his father?
He was born
Makes
born
perfect
from
sense.
metachlorians, basically.
There was no father. Meanwhile, the real footage is like Jar Jar snuck in there and
Oh,
like
God.
took advantage of the mom at
It
night.
just says 9 months or like a couple years earlier. There you go.
That he incubated in there for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
That's terrible.
every woman it would be like 2.5 years. I'm out. I ain't being pregnant for that long.
wonder
I'll
he
do
had-
9 months.
No wonder he had such emotional problems.
Jar Jar was chilling in there for 2.5. No, anyway, oh my gosh. Star Wars, man, I have to say this. Original trilogy, great. Prequel trilogy, pretty decent. I didn't think that with a new trilogy of Star Wars movies, I would never in a million years think that I wouldn't be excited at all for another Star Wars movie.
what I heard,
I'm not
is-
excited for episode 9 at all.
I'm not really.
I have no fucking hopes.
What I heard from, I'm not sure.
They should call
where
it
I
A
heard
Newer
from,
Hope.
But I heard
For
that
episode 9, A Newer Hope.
Newer Hope, renewed hope,
Renewed
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
We're gonna take your money at the box office because we're Disney hope, right? That's what.
I heard that George Lucas actually planned to have someone else finish the last like he planned it to be a 9-film thing, but he
Yeah.
didn't want to finish it himself for some reason. Like he had it in his mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got $2 billion from Disney, so I guess he didn't. No, he got $4 billion from Disney, so I guess he didn't really. He wound up okay with that
They
deal.
bought all of LucasArts, right?
Yeah, and then they stopped doing the video games, so that fucking sucks.
Oh my God, there
They
was
got
some
EA
good
to do it.
games coming out.
So we have fucking
though.
EA instead of LucasArts.
There was a bounty hunter.
we would
game
have
that was
gotten an
gonna come.
actually good Battlefront 3. You
Yeah.
know? Like
There was a bounty hunter game coming out. It was like 13 Star Wars 1313, and you were supposed to be a bounty hunter. I always wanted a good bounty hunter game. After
I
the
like
Star
that first
Wars
one. Bounty Hunter is good
on
though.
PlayStation
Bounty-
2.
I
Yeah.
have that on Steam. It's a fun game.
That's an amazing game. That game's great. Yeah. It's hard though.
It is
very hard.
I remember as a kid, I would like, what the heck, like taking on you
that
three.
mission where you go on the asteroid and it's a prison.
Yeah,
I could not get past that for years, and then
I don't know
I
if
had to
I've
come
ever
back to
got.
yeah.
I
I
probably
beat
played
the
it on.
game. You fight a Sith Lord at the end
Oh shoot!
with like these like
Didn't you have to fire like one gun with one hand and one with the other, or something like that?
no, you just hit square and it goes.
Oh,
But
okay.
you can lock onto 2 people and shoot them.
Wow.
It was cool, and you had the rocket on your back. and
Remember
stuff.
back when like having Halo 2 was like the coolest thing? I remember getting Halo 2 as a kid.
I didn't
and-
have an Xbox when.
Well, look at that! I got
was-
the big. I got the original Xbox One over there.
Yeah. I had PlayStation 2 most of my life, and then I got Xbox 360. I played Halo 3.
Halo 3's good. Did you
Yeah.
play Halo 4 and then you're like, I'm not gonna play these?
No,
games
I
again?
actually stopped after Halo 3.
I got Halo
Got it,
3.
and
It
I
was
stopped
really
it.
good, and then I decided I never wanted to play another one.
Well, I mean, it kind of dropped off at the end there. It didn't like entice me to get another one at the end of the.
You didn't like
Story.
Halo 3,
Oh, I did. I liked the story. I just felt
but you're like, I
the
don't need
end-
another one.
The end wasn't as climactic as it could have been in a way.
Every
that they led up
Halo
to it.
fan hates you
I don't-
right now.
That's what
You're
Hey,
like, it wasn't
I
as
played
good as a
one
movie.
Yeah, if you want to be offended, go the fuck ahead. I've played one game
Have you
out
seen?
of a game that has like what 6 games by now, something like that.
Did you ever watch that
ODST.
Halo Nightfall? The one, it was a series that Ridley Scott put his name on for some reason. I guess
No.
to sell to make some money. It was so fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like, they got attacked by a swarm of like bee things or something.
See,
It
you
was
know what?
so dumb.
What might have messed that Halo up for me is I played it with other people, and you know.
Oh,
how
you did
that
split
goes.
screen
No, I played it online.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss when the games would have online story. Now Call of Duty doesn't even have a
The
story. 'cause
problem
they
is
don't
with
care.
that is like I always play with my friends, and they've played it like twice by the time I get the game, and then they're talking through every scene, and I can't watch the fucking thing. So it's terrible. We're getting all Star Wars though. We're on Halo.
They will never make a good Halo movie. Write me
Space
down for that.
games, It's a game.
Unless
You
they
can't-
want me to do it, I'll do that movie.
Name a movie. Name a game. They've made a great. Movie
I've only
from.
ever worked on short films, but give me Halo the movie. Hashtag Alex so full of himself.
I think that's kind of funny though. You can make
Yeah.
a great.
I can make a Star Wars movie better than Ryan
out of a
Johnson. I'll take
book.
that up.
You can make a great movie out of a book, but making a movie out of a game always seems to be.
I
trash.
think you could do it. Here's what you do: you write a story, and then
You write a book and then make a game off the book and then make a movie off the game.
yes,
Genius.
genius. This is the stuff of legends here. We are like Hercules
Think about it.
tackling Mount Olympus.
Think about it. That's $1 million idea. You got 3 revenues there. You got the game universe, you got the
Yeah.
book universe, and you got the movie.
Hashtag Marvel ain't on our level. Yo, Phase 1 Marvel isn't even good, though. Come at me. Outside of Iron Man, what good movie are you going to give at me? It's like the SEC for football. Everybody's like, the SEC is so good. It's like you have Alabama, and then every other team can't do shit.
Yeah.
So Marvel's just like that. They have good Captain America movies, and the last 2 Avengers the last Avengers movie they did was good.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, what are you gonna get at me with? You want to compare them to like actually good movies? Who are you gonna come at me with? I like Guardians. I enjoy some of the other ones.
It's better than Shawshank.
Yeah. Avengers 2 was better than Shawshank Redemption,
Well, let's
and it was better than Star Wars. It's like,
let's get
what do you
on
mean?
To Clone Wars. I've seen.
Have you seen both? Have you seen like the Tartakovsky.
I haven't seen a lot of Clone Wars.
The
I've seen a
have you
few
seen the cartoon
episodes,
Clone Wars?
And I've done, that's what I've seen. Well, I mean, I've seen Star Wars Clone Wars.
There's 2 Clone Wars.
The movie.
There's one where it's animated.
Star
We don't talk
Wars.
about that movie. That movie's a
good
little bit
movie,
better than Last Jedi. And we're gonna talk about Star Wars sequels here. So
You need it though because it shows that Anakin's.
I like both Clone Wars shows, and yes, there are 2. Let me show you. Trust me.
The Clone Wars shows, they just crammed like years of stuff into the canon universe.
So you're thinking of this one,
show.
right? Yeah, that movie was pretty ass cheeks. It's fucking 35. It was literally just the first 3 episodes.
They have a movie.
Yeah.
They have a movie of that.
Yeah, look.
No, I meant Star Wars 2: The Clone Wars.
Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones. That's
What
it's
the
called.
fuck?
But it's the Clone Wars.
What the fuck did you...
That's
Oh
all right.
my gosh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So there. Okay. So we're talking about Attack of the
can.
Clones, and then
I've
we'll talk
watched it.
about both cartoon
Are
shows.
we gonna want? Okay, Attack of the Clones.
So Attack of the Clones. What do you think of Attack of the Clones?
So, it was. I, growing up, liked the first one more than Attack of the Clones, but now I kind of like. That's kind of funny. It looks like Samurai Jack.
That's what it was. It was done by the people who did Samurai Jack.
That's
they did the
funny.
cartoon. But yeah, no, I like
But-
1 more than 2. I have more fun with 1. I love the pod racer scenes. I love the lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
the
That's
space
great.
battle's not that bad. I mean,
But
overall,
to move the story.
nothing
along,
happens in episode 1.
Yeah.
But it's a fun watch.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
got it like an IMAX setup or something, I would see episode 1 in IMAX if it came out. I'd do it again.
But that's why I feel like a lot of people like the second one a lot more than the first.
second
because
one,
it actually moves the
it's pretty
story
good.
in the direction it's supposed
It
to.
does.
Go. It shows that Anakin's like got the dark
Anakin
side
sucks ass
with him.
though. If Hayden Christensen would have been not in that movie, because they had Leo, DiCaprio was signed on, but he couldn't do it for whatever reason. So they got Hayden
I
Christensen instead. They said they watched
don't-
that episode of Goosebumps with the dummy, and they were like, "We want the kid from Goosebumps.
I feel
Give
like,
us him."
I feel like they did better
Fucking
with
hell.
Hayden Christensen than they would have with.
He did a better job than you think with the lines he was given.
Because I mean,
I
like
hate sand. Who could make that sound good?
I feel like Leonardo
sand.
DiCaprio's like wouldn't be right for that role.
DiCaprio
in
would
my
have probably been
opinion.
like, "I hate sand. It's coarse, bitter, irritating, gets everywhere."
I think he would have overshadowed part of it. Like he would have like.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been like, "I hate sand. I shouldn't have. I'm cursed
Think
by
about
the kiss you
think
shouldn't
about
have
like
given
this.
me."
With Hayden Christensen, he wasn't as known as a character. So like,
That is
if you
true.
saw Leonardo DiCaprio there, you'd be like, "Oh, Darth Vader's Leonardo DiCaprio." He's
That's
not
fucking
Anakin
cool, though.
Star Wars.
DiCaprio
He's
is
not
Darth Vader.
Anakin
That's
Star
fucking
Wars.
cool.
Anakin Skywalker. But like, you wouldn't see Leonardo DiCaprio as Anakin Skywalker. You'd see Leonardo DiCaprio in Star Wars. That's kind of how you would get around with it. I feel like that's the mentality that would.
That would have been cool, though.
It would
Tell
have
me
been
I'm
cool,
wrong.
but it would have like.
This would have been 5 years after Titanic.
Okay.
5 years. He was 5 years post Titanic. He'd have been legitimately amazing. He'd have been great.
What did he do instead?
He would have. I think Gangs in New York. Which
Okay.
Okay. He
so-
skipped Clone Wars for Attack of the Clones for Gangs in New York.
So yeah.
He made a good he made a good choice. Yeah. He went with Gangs in New York instead. Well, we could chalk that one up to a good choice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, definitely. So Hayden Christensen got that instead of Goosebumps the movie.
Yeah.
No, but
I feel like Hayden Christensen put it more in the right.
he gets
direction.
more hate than he deserves. Absolutely.
Every character
Everybody
that gets
hates.
hate from Star Wars.
Well, see, that's
gets
the thing
more
about
hate
Star
than
Wars
they deserve.
fans.
Even
People
Jar
didn't-
Jar Binks gets more hate than he deserves.
People really didn't hate the prequels until like more recently. That's a more recent thing. Like the hate
I wouldn't
wasn't
say
really
that
there.
it was more recently, but it didn't happen for years after they came out.
Yeah.
You're right.
There was a
Yeah.
time, like there was a gap where, like,
The first
there were a
three
few
ca-
people who shat on the
those
prequels,
prequel
but I
came
didn't
out,
hear
and
anything.
And they were great. They were just accept. They're like, hell yeah, it fucking led up to the originals, and it
Yeah.
filled a gap there.
Seeing, you know what it was like as a kid to see Episode 3 in theaters? That was so cool.
Oh my
and
God.
then when he,
I saw episode 2 in theaters.
yeah, I saw all of them in the theaters, except for the originals.
I saw 99 in theaters.
Yeah, 4.
Oh yeah.
I had bad
You were
parents.
4 years old.
I like
at
Jar
the
Jar,
basis.
man. I had a Jar Jar toy, I think.
You're probably the only
I was afraid
one.
of clowns, but I liked Jar Jar.
That's funny how you're shitting on him now, but you're like, oh, I liked him.
Oh, I'm
back
not
then."
shitting on him. I think he's not as bad as some people say.
He's not as bad as everybody says.
People are like, the movie is unwatchable. It's the worst movie ever. It's like, have you seen The Nun? Have you seen like Slender Man?
Have you seen Liam Neeson?
The Bye Bye Man? You want to talk about a fucking joke? Watch The Bye Bye Man and then watch the prequels. You'll think they're fucking Oscar films.
Mhm.
I'm not joking. You Bye Bye Man's fucking shit. And then the prequels are actually pretty good. Episode
great.
3?
All of them are great.
Episode 3 is a great movie.
Yeah.
The effects are a little shitty, but if Episode 3 had a little bit better effects, Episode
Okay,
3 would be legit.
So when I was watching Episode 3 this last week,
Yeah, it's good.
out of all the movies I have, they were all widescreen except.
Episode
for
3 was in
Episode
full
3,
screen.
and it was
what?
pan and scan.
It was pan and scanned. Oh,
So it's zoomed in. So like it had these scenes where it
Yeah.
zoomed in on their face on purpose, but it was extra zoomed in, so it was just their eyes.
oh.
And I'm just like, it bothered me for about 30% of the movie, and then I got used to it.
That's
But,
a
like,
long one too. That's like 2.5 hours,
They're
isn't
all
it?
2 hours, but I think that one's like 2.5, something like
It's
that.
still not Lord of the Rings length, but it's got some heft to
Or
it.
it's the 3 hours, yeah. But I mean, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I'd do that any day. Okay, let me put it this way. If this podcast made more money and you guys wanted me to do a Lord of the Rings review, very in depth, I'd bust my ass. Yo, that'd
Oh,
be a
I'd
nice
go-
Patreon thing.
I would go in depth.
We'd do
with that.
in-depth Lord of the Rings. We could do Dark Knight. And we could come back and do the original Star Wars.
We could do a
do
3-hour
in-depth on all that.
podcast on each Star Wars. I mean, each Lord of the Rings movie, probably.
Yeah. They're
Like
really. I
Fellowship.
played the game so much. I watched the
Same.
movie so
Yeah,
much.
same.
Return of the King on GameCube.
I had it on PlayStation 2. I
Yeah,
had all
but
the
that was a great game when you.
The
up at
first-
the end with
the
the.
first game I had for PlayStation 2 was actually the Two Towers.
That's a good game too. I
Yeah.
remember I got that. It's different than the Return of the King game a little bit. It's
But
more
I liked
story.
It more. I liked it
I
more.
did because the story was great.
Yeah,
I think I still have that game.
yeah, I have it too.
I think I do,
Yeah,
and
I kept it because it's my first PlayStation 2.
Well, see,
game.
I had it for PS2. I kept it. I just got a PS2 a couple weeks
That's
back,
funny, so you can play it.
so I
now.
can actually play it again. I think I have Battlefront 2 somewhere for PS2,
Oh my god!
but I don't know where that is.
Oh, that game is the best.
I had it. Now I can't find it, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I want to re.
I really hope it's not in my sell pile. I have a pile of shit that I'm just selling, and I'm like, I really hope I didn't get rid of that.
Should probably not sell that.
Battlefront 2. That's another thing. Talk
Yeah.
about Star Wars.
Yeah,
Battlefront 2
Battlefront
2
Battlefront
was the
1 was
game.
great,
Battlefront
too.
1 was a great game, and then 2 came out, and you're like, this is the game.
If you haven't played Battlefront 2, it's like
You're missing
it's
out.
like
the old
today's-
Battlefront
it's like,
2,
yeah,
not the new
yeah,
one.
Yeah, the new one on.
The new one's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah.
But it's basically like nowadays is team death matches, except you had to do these collect these like posts. It was like capture the flag almost.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. The little beacon thing.
Yeah, but you had like all the different types of soldiers. There was also Galactic Conquest.
And what game are you talking about?
Battlefront,
The first one?
the originals.
Okay. Yeah, I
The
mean,
originals one.
remember doing the Conquer the Galaxy mode or whatever when you flew around?
Galactic Conquest.
Yeah, that was the shit.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
That was awesome. You could be the bad side and
Take over the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yo, me and my brother would just waste hours in that game.
Same.
That was so fun.
Mhm.
Games nowadays don't have that kind of fun anymore. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I like these new systems and all, but I feel like when
It
you
all
had to go
became-
to somebody's house
A lot
to
of
play
it
split
became
screen,
online. That's what it was.
That's what I
Yeah.
kinda hate.
And yeah.
going to somebody's house and playing split screen Battlefront 2,
Mhm.
there's nothing like
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's
as
such an
shit.
experience.
Gets you out of the
Yeah.
gets you out of, one of the people gets out of
The house.
and gets going.
I used to
but
have so much fun with that. I'd be
Yeah.
like, yo, you want to come play split screen?
They've been bringing that back a little bit.
Yeah.
Some games have been having split.
See, I
screen
love
recently.
retro games, so I love playing like all like stuff that feels old school.
Yeah.
But something like that where it's like co-op with people. I mean, Call of Duty didn't even have a story mode. Like, what the fuck? Then again, Call of Duty's just mainstream horrors. You know.
I'm not gonna talk about it. I have stuff to
I
say
play
about
Call of
Duty.
Duty. I enjoy Call of Duty. Don't get me wrong. I play the games.
But we're not
I
gonna
haven't played
talk
in a
about
while.
that on Star Wars.
Well, fucking Battlefront and Battlefront 2, the new ones are basically Battlefield.
So yeah, I mean, if that's
Battlefield
what you're
games.
gonna do it, like Battlefront was basically like the precursor to the Call of Duties online.
Yeah.
Which became the biggest thing
Ever.
basically. And it's
Biggest
just
thing
like,
since the Beatles.
oh, you stole it from Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's literally what I thought too. But like, I thought the bots were better than going against.
Yo,
everybody
playing
else.
bots back in the day, that's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Well, I mean, that's how it was in Battlefront. You were
but you
only against bots unless you played split screen, which are usually on the same team then.
Yeah,
so.
I remember my brother and I, we would do that 501st, the campaign thing in that game when you went to the different planets, and it's like, and then you get to the part where the Order 666 or no, it's 66.
66, yeah.
Instead of Satan.
The great thing about that was
But pretty much.
they brought in that you could be the Jedis and Sith, like you could.
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
and
That was cool.
Yeah.
I love. There's one of the missions where you have to kill Yoda.
On when you're playing the evil side.
Yeah, it's right. You play with Yoda, and
Mhm.
then the next mission, it's like, then we had to turn on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
that
actually a
game's
decent,
interesting.
and it was a good story for what it was.
Oh, Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, the game. I had that.
Oh, I played the shit out of that game.
That if you get to the end of it and you can actually play an alternate ending where you fight as Anakin and you can win, and it's like if Anakin won.
Oh yeah. I did that, and then you come and fight the Emperor afterward. I think.
Do you?
I think you do, or you choose to, maybe.
Maybe. I'd have to.
I can't
play it
remember.
again. But that was fucking cool. That'd be interesting.
That was so much fun
if
as a
you-
10-year-old kid.
If you think about it, if Anakin won that fight, the Sith would have like no way of anyone beating them. Like Anakin was
the ultimate
unstoppable
until he was put into a trash
and then,
can.
Yeah, he when Obi-Wan cut his arms and legs off, Palpatine put him in the worst robotic suit that he could have found. Because think about it, General Grievous had the mobility of like nothing else. Like he could just roll everywhere and all that. And then Darth Vader was put in this thing where he can only walk like 75% bent the speed of everybody else, and like also the mechanics actually made it so he couldn't use electric. That was part of the thing. Like if he didn't have the full power of the Force with the electronic arms and stuff, so that limited his
Poor Darth Vader.
Yeah, well,
The poor Anakin.
poor Anakin.
Little orphan Annie.
Poor boy. Poor Anakin.
Poor Anakin.
And
He
then
was just another boy who lost his family.
He had that dome that always lowered over top of him. That was so he could take his helmet off and breathe. And, he could breathe openly. He didn't have to be in his mask, because that would be annoying as hell to be in that mask all the time.
He's like, I smell like stink.
Smell
Can
like
you imagine what
stink.
Darth Vader smelled like if he was on a
God.
very hot planet?
Ugh.
Oh, I just came from Tatooine. Oh my God, you smell like. Oh my God, you smell like New Jersey.
He's also constantly trying to heal himself. Like in is it Rogue One? I think it's Rogue One. There's a scene that Darth Vader's in, that he's in he's suspended in like some liquid and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's like where he goes and he sits there and meditates so he can try and heal his lungs.
Heal his emotional pain. He's meditating his emotional pain away. His chakras were not at a premier level. I'm joking, but am I? My third eye says that.
Didn't I?
Star Wars coming to a theater near you. No, how crazy is the fandom of Star Wars? Star Wars fans.
I don't know, actually. Like
You
not
don't-
recently. Like
I think
So,
they've been in the right
the
about
hype-
Last Jedi.
the
man.
hype
They got pissed.
was huge for the seventh one, right?
Seventh and
one
eighth were both hyped as shit.
were huge, and then the eighth one ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, because like episode 7's got like all these questions. It's like, oh my god, where's it gonna go? And then episode 8's like, it's going nowhere. Ray's parents are trash people.
What I don't
Everybody is
What
dumb.
I don't understand is they had
Men are
they
bad.
had J.J. Abrams make that first one, and then they had
Ryan fucking Johnson,
Ryan Johnson,
the guy who made Blooper.
and then they're just going back to J.J. Abrams.
I
now,
thought
which-
Looper wasn't a good movie. Like I didn't like Looper at all.
But why did
Why'd
they
that guy
switch?
get a job?
Why did they switch? Why didn't they just keep J.J. Abrams on for the second one?
Well, it was supposed to be him, Ryan Johnson, and Colin Trevorrow.
So they
Colin Trevorrow got fired.
He got fucked. Oh, he got fired
because they said we got to get J.J. Abrams to fix this pile of shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh shit. So
He
fucked
got
up
the
the
shit.
guy for the other. He fucked it up for the
Ryan
other guy.
Johnson basically said, "Hey, Colin Trevorrow, you know how you want to make a Star Wars movie? How about no?" And then
So, you know how
it's so bad.
Luke dies at the end
Oh,
of that?
let's wait to get there.
I don't think he died. I think he just got so
We're jumping
powerful.
right to Last Jedi,
Yeah, we're jumping to the end of The Last Jedi. I don't
but
care.
we didn't even talk Episode 7
We're
yet.
gonna get through this really quickly.
We got to go back to Episode 7.
Okay, episode 7. Woman, black guy, robot that rolls around like a soccer ball. Looks like a soccer ball by the
ball.
wall.
You're
like-
so expressive, Kevin. Kevin, these are Marvin Gaye couldn't express love better than you're expressing the plot of Episode 7.
Thank you. I like the compliment there.
Woman, black guy, and soccer ball take on the Empire. Empire Part 2. And the fucking...
And
okay.
Harrison Ford.
You know what? Here's how I can sum up Episode 4.
Questionably,
Oh, my bad.
that
I'm sorry, Episode
questionable
7.
Scene there.
Here's Episode 7. I'll explain it to you real quick.
It's not good.
It's Star Wars Episode 4, but Han Solo dies instead of
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
But and he,
Spoiler.
and he doesn't have the Force, so he can't come back as a ghost.
And yeah.
He
So
gets the
Han
shit
just
in
like
his-
gets the shaft. They're just like, fuck you. And Harrison Ford just wanted to die. He's like, I don't want to be in these shitty movies. I want to be in a Blade Runner movie. See? Hey, that's right.
I'd say
That's right. Harrison Ford
I'd
wanted
say-
to die so he could be.
I'd say that's a false interpretation.
He wanted to be
of that.
Deckard again.
I wouldn't say it's a reproduction of the fourth.
It is Episode 4. Okay, long lost person who doesn't know their family is on a strange desert planet. They get picked up by other crew and then find their way
I
to
was
take
thi-
on
I was thinking
evil
about
bad
that.
guy who kills their mentor and friend, and then they go on to blow up the Death Star. Tell me they're not exactly the same movies.
But
I just
was-
laid the pipe down on that argument.
Was
They're
Han
the exact
Solo
sa-
really their mentor there?
He kind of was. He was like, "Kid, I like it. Here's a blaster. Here's a let me show you how to tie a knot. I'm your dad." You know.
Yeah, but she already knew how to. Fix
And then
the
her
Millennium
parents were
Falcon
fucking.
already
Her parents are
somehow.
trash men. Just remember that Episode 7 doesn't matter because Ray's parents are just trash
I don't
men.
think that's how it is. What I was just gonna say is I think that if you're right, and it's just a reproduction of the fourth, then Luke is her father, and he left her on what is it, Tatooine, the same exact.
he left
fucking
her on
planet.
Dantooine. No, I'm joking. On Stank.
No, it was actually a different planet.
On
I forget
Stank
what
on the
it's
Mean.
called. It was
I got a book of these, but none of them are good. So Episode
it
7.
wasn't Tatooine. I don't think.
Episode 7's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
it's
enjoy Episode 7. It's not bad. I've only ever watched it twice. I don't actually have any intention to.
What I heard from
really watch it
people
again.
that
'Cause Episode
saw
8
the
just said,
original
"Fuck
when
you."
it came out is that it did have the same feeling as when the fourth came out.
Yeah.
Not that like they're robbing it off, like you're saying, but like I'm just saying they had the same.
Are you calling me a
nostalgic
liar?
feeling. I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm just saying, you know,
You're a liar, Harry.
just Hagrid just stomping down on Harry.
On
I
Harry.
ended it now. Oh,
You're a
going back
Jedi,
to the
Harry.
third one. Don't you think that the scene
Return of the Sith.
where
2005.
where Palpatine converts Anakin into it should have been more of something. It just seemed like he's just like, join the dark side. And he's like, all right, sure. He's like, all right, that seems like a good idea.
He's
sure.
like, you know what? I don't want my wife to die.
Yeah.
I want my kids. I'll kill Obi-Wan if you want me to.
That's basically
I'll
how
do
it happened. And there was there was the scene where he said, oh yeah, I'm part of the dark side. And he starts up his lightsaber, and he literally could have killed Palpatine and ended it. And literally he could have fulfilled his destiny in the third movie. He could have just stabbed the guy in the face and been like, I brought balance to the Force. Boom.
It's not the Jedi way. Here's the thing. That's my one thing where I will listen to that argument. When somebody tells me they don't like Episode 3, I had somebody give me a good reason.
He should have let Samuel L. Jackson
He's
kill
like,
him.
it's not the Jedi way. 10 minutes later, he's killing younglings. He's like, it's not the Jedi way. Yo.
He's a hypocrite.
Here's the thing. Palpatine convinces him like that. I'm like, what kind of shit was he getting in his head where he was like, you know what? Killing orphans is good for the wife.
There? It's just like, it should have been more of like a really convincing type of thing instead of just being like, oh, you don't want your wife to die? All right, then kill all these children.
Kill these children because they'll kill your wife. And it's like, why would the good guys kill your wife?
Yeah.
They don't follow the Jedi way.
The Jedis are... You know what I don't understand?
From my opinion, the Jedis are evil.
I don't understand is because he kept being like, the Jedis were going to take over. And it's just like, what do you mean? We were already in charge.
Still better written than Episode 8. I'm just going to put it this way. Here's the thing. As much as I make fun of the prequels, like I will rip them a new asshole from time to time. They're funny. They're fun.
Were
I enjoy
by the
them.
original, though, so you know that it's
Episode 8. Let's just go through a quick recap of what happens in Episode 8 in case you haven't seen it. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I don't think there's anything to spoil with that movie.
I've seen it once. So,
yeah.
I mean, I can't really.
I saw it 1.5 times.
I couldn't.
So listen to this. Here's the plot of Episode 8.
I didn't understand
Space
that
battle
pilot guy's deal.
What?
I didn't understand how that
guy...
Oh, the
pilot guy?
Because he's...
Poe?
90% of the movie, he's trying to stop it, and then they just knock him out. And then they're just like, nope, we're doing this instead.
Yep.
That's why I think the movie sucked.
The movie sucks in so many ways.
It's reason.
Fucking awful. And, okay, I'm sorry. I would give it a low Netflix score, meaning, like, you can watch it if you want to revisit a Star Wars movie, if you have an obligation to see them all. But Episode 8's the one that I will skip. And listen to this. People say Episode 1 and 2 are terrible. No. I would choose them way over Last Jedi. Because here's the thing about Last Jedi. It not only spit in the face of all Star Wars fans, but it basically said that they don't care about anybody who gives them money to see their movie. Because they basically said, oh, nope, let's kill the Jedi. The only reason people actually go to these movies. Luke's going to be an angry old bastard. He's going to be a Republican, and he's going to... Children are bad these days. It's
he did do a flip-flop there. He did like a Republican flip-flop.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a Republican, and then he's like, nope, Democrat.
Democrat, I'm going to save the children. Save the children.
And it's funny because Jedis...
And then he doesn't even do anything cool, just like a Democrat.
It's funny because Jedis are Democrats.
They are. They're big pussy. Like that's the thing. Like, pussies. Everybody has pussies. Like, you got Republican pussies. Like, quick political debate. Republicans are pussies because, like, oh, he didn't stand for the national anthem. I won't watch football anymore. Meanwhile, Democrats will be like, they're selling 22-ounce sodas. It's killing the children. We need to make it 20 ounces because 22 is too many.
Yeah, neither side.
So a kid goes and buys 2 drinks.
Neither side's arguments make any sense.
Yeah, I know.
So.
It's like, you got one group of pussies or another group of pussies.
And that's why we don't pick sides here on the podcast.
The guys who talk about stuff are not an apolitical affiliation.
Yeah, we're not really.
We do not associate with any sort of political agenda.
If we ever say anything about politics, it's purely
like
joking.
And it's a South Park kind of way.
Yeah, it's like we're making fun of all
Giant
sides
douche
here.
Or a turd sandwich, right?
Yeah, basically. You're picking from two sides.
So are you a turd
shit.
sandwich kind of guy, or are you more of a giant douche? I think I lean a little giant douche, but I definitely think I'm a turd sandwich kind of dude.
Let's
the thing.
Get on here. What do you think about? Well, how do you think the next Star Wars is gonna go?
Now, is this coming
Star
from
Wars
a...
9.
You have
from,
my tuner on. You didn't tune my tuner on.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep turning it back on. But so he moves it to the other side of the table.
All the way over here. You can't touch it now.
Oh.
But yeah, no, episode 9. Do I have hope? I don't think it can go down. I don't think it could be worse.
All right, base it off of episode 7.
I didn't even think Solo was that bad.
Solo wasn't bad.
Yeah, no,
It
was
just
a
got
fun
a bad
watch.
rap because of 8.
Because everybody thought 8 was shite.
I think
Utter shite.
I think we did lose a little bit of an opportunity of having extra movies there, because like they had like Kenobi was.
They were gonna do some other stuff, and now they're just like, we're not doing anything.
They literally canceled everything,
except for 9. They're like, if 9 does
9
well, we'll do more. If it doesn't, then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
I hope 9 does well.
I hope 9 does well, but I also hope they don't do more at this point. I hope they don't do a 10, 11, 12.
I could see them doing like a Boba Fett movie. I'd be down for like that. Obi-Wan.
Well,
that
did
kind
you
of
hear
stuff.
that Jon Favreau's making The Mandalorian?
I heard of that.
So he's making a show.
I don't know how to feel. They need George Lucas back, and I know that sounds insane if you're a prequel hater.
It doesn't sound
But I
insane
think
at all.
the guy who made the original trilogy happen, you gotta let him have a chance back at like doing some. Let him do a TV show. Let him do an expanded universe thing.
I don't think you can
I
judge
think he
what
can make
he
it work.
did off of the prequels, because it like think about the prequels. They had to go in a direction.
I would do a George Lucas TV show if he wanted to do a Star Wars TV show, kind of add to the lore.
A TV show. I guess there's a lot to go there.
There's a lot to explore. He could explore, make some characters in a different part of the galaxy, and maybe in their part, the Empire's still going on.
Yeah, that's like the Clone Wars.
Because they're like lost
where we were
communication.
getting
They're
with
like,
the
we've
Stone
lost
Clone
communication.
Wars.
We're just going to keep up our sector kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they even had the blue guy, Thrawn. Thrawn was one of the Expanded Universe guys, which go in Expanded Universe. I played on the... there was a computer game, and you would control units and stuff, and it was a real-time strategy Star Wars game. I can't remember what it was called.
I have one for Lord of the Rings like that.
Yeah,
It's,
that was Conquest.
No, I had
that was Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle Earth. Yeah,
that game was.
It was like
the
that, but
best.
Star Wars.
That was awesome.
But yeah,
I heard about that, and I heard that
yeah,
it was like
it's really good.
I heard mixed reviews about it.
What about the Star Wars one?
Yeah, I heard one. Actually, there might have been more than one, and I think one was trash, and one was probably I think good, but maybe I was.
It's not as good as the Lord of the Rings one, but like that Lord of the Rings game was awesome. Battle for Middle Earth, still one of my favorite games
it's
of all
like
time.
not comparable to like anything else, really. It's like it's its own strategy game.
And when you come out and when you would play as the orcs and they cost no money to get, like they were weak ass bitches, but they free orcs. You could build an army so easy.
But they still found a way to make that game impossible halfway through.
Yeah. I love the one mode where you command like different squads and you're trying to take over the map. But the story mode's
you
fun.
could combine for like the people and stuff like that and make different things, but it weakened them.
Lord of the Rings would be an awesome episode to do for this kind of stuff.
Like I said, guys, if you want us to do that, just let us know.
Oh yeah,
we will slay it. We'll get through a couple Lord of the Rings episodes.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with Star Wars. But
Hobbit should get an episode. Like everything Hobbit, like book.
Yeah,
original cartoon movie and Peter Jackson.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Lord of the Rings should get an episode or two.
Yeah, we could split that between 2 or 3 episodes.
Probably. Yeah,
it would be cool to kind of do a 3-episode part, because then we could split each movie and do it independently.
Yeah.
That's
if we have a real like if people say they want it, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So guys, get back to us. Let us know.
Heads up on that.
And while we're on that topic, guys, subscribe to us.
Yeah, subscribe, and definitely in the comments put down anything you want us to talk about in the future, because we could do some more open topics where we tackle a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And all kinds of small topics. I mean, this is kind of YouTube's an interactive platform, so it's kind of nice that you can do that stuff. And even with a podcast, send us an email.
Yeah, I mean, you hear what we talk
Facebook
about
message
here. Like, I mean, we talk about cartoons, movies, shows, like music,
video games.
Yeah, video games. Like
we're both
music. Like
We're both music
We're both
guys.
music people.
I would say musicians, but
Yeah.
music guy works also.
Music guys. I was gonna say musicians, but you know, you're more of the musician. I'm more of the freelance.
You're the music
freelance
guy.
I'm the music guy.
I'm music guy.
Yeah.
But how about the Clone Wars?
I'll get to musician.
Talk about Clone Wars,
Yeah, Clone
digital,
Wars.
and then there's the Tartakovsky.
So I know a few things about
animated.
the Clone Wars. I know that it's canon and stuff like that. One thing I do know about is they brought back Darth Maul. He was
I remember
he got
that.
cut in half in the first one, and then I guess
Apparently
the Clone
he
Wars
survived.
continues it right after, and he just gets robot legs, and then that actually leads into the Solo movie.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
Darth Maul's in.
Which
spoiler.
Dude, I was disappointed about them canceling all the extra movies because if they made a second
You'd have been
Solo
up for
movie,
Solo too.
Yeah, because like they could have brought Darth Maul back, and I really wanted to see what they were going to do with him because he's apparently like one of the most
That's
powerful
cool.
Sith that there is.
One of the coolest characters.
Because his hate is like he hates Jedi so much.
That's what I was saying, man. Episode 1's not bad. It's got Darth Maul. You got a pod racer scene that's cool. Underwater scene that's cool. You got the space battle that's cool.
You get Liam
Lightsaber
Neeson
fight.
dying.
Liam Neeson being a badass
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, he did great in that.
I mean, hello.
Mm.
No, prequels are good. Thank you.
I'm
End
sure
of discussion.
I'm sure you know more about the Clone Wars than me, so why don't you take the lead?
I'll
on
talk
that
about
one?
the cartoon one.
Yeah.
The Samurai Jack guy. The guy who did Samurai Jack in Dexter's Lab, he did a Clone Wars cartoon. It was like little 15-minute episodes, and it was such a great little show. It's these little adventures in the Clone Wars.
So this was this on cable?
It was on Cartoon Network.
Okay. And was both of them on Cartoon Network?
I believe so, except the last couple seasons of Clone Wars, or the last season, was on the Disney Channel because they were bought by Disney.
Are they good? Are they like really good, or are they just like kids show good?
Okay,
You know.
so the cartoon, the animated one, that one's really good. The digital one's pretty good. My
Mhm.
brother really likes it, and there's other people who like it. I would suggest that one for like kids and die-hard Star
Is
Wars
that
fans.
the more upscale like looking one. Is
The
that what you're talking
digital-
about? Yeah, like the 3D. type
Yeah, the
look.
3D thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hokey, and the movie is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's definitely worse than I might put it below Last Jedi, but I don't know. Last Jedi is like aesthetically, it was really good, but the movie I just thought was dumb as shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching paint dry too. Last Jedi, it was like let's have a slow speed chase through space while some people go to a casino planet. Yeah, that's a great fucking idea for a Star Wars movie because, you know, let's have some political commentary in this movie, but it's not really saying anything.
What?
It's just saying stuff you already know. Like rich people give weapons to the whoever's fighting and they don't care about what's right and wrong. It's like, yeah, we fucking know this. Like
What, in Solo? Is
No,
that what you're talking about? Or in
in episode 8.
Oh,
When they
yeah.
go to the casino,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
that's
like, oh, I sell my weapons. It's like, but they're the bad guys. Why would they sell to them? It's like,
why not?
because some people are greedy fucks and they don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves in their pocket. Like, we know this. It's
Yeah.
called There's Some Shitty People.
Those are the people that when the English teacher told them to read a book and interpret their own way, they interpreted it the fucking wrong way.
Yeah, there's no wrong way. Meanwhile, there it's like, wait a minute. It's saying that greed is good? Well, no.
Yeah.
This movie's supposed to be like telling you the mistakes of this and how bad this is. Greed is good. It's
Yeah.
like my dad was telling me he knew somebody who saw Wall Street back in the day, and he came away and he was like, "Greed is good. That's a good thing." Went to
Yeah.
a company and like fucked people over for like $500,000 or whatever, and it's like you can't. Greed is not good. It's bad. It's bad. Okay. Okay. That's another episode. South Park got to do
Yeah,
that.
we could do that.
Oh, South Park deserves like a whole
We
series.
could probably do Simpsons and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we
that
could
too,
do like tackle like a season of a show rather than like the whole show, because a whole show review is kind of impossible. King of the Hill,
Yeah, because some of the earlier episodes of The Simpsons, like the earlier seasons, like when Conan was writing for it, like
I like
early
it.
90s, fucking great. Yeah, we should definitely do something like that.
I'll do first season. Yeah, we should do first season King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Oh,
First season King of the Hill.
Oh man, see, I actually have that on DVD. I got it for Christmas, man. Of all things,
it's always a good one to get, though.
There's so many good shows out there, and that's the thing. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, you got to check out all these shows." It's like, you know how many shows there are? You can only really watch like so many.
Yeah.
With movies, you can watch a ton, but
think
shows,
about it. Some shows are 45 minutes and have
an episode. And they're like a 25 episode season. It's like
and there's like 10 seasons, and you realize that that's 24 hours, and then
Supernatural,
240
Supernatural's got
hours.
like 16 seasons, and it's like 25 episodes apiece.
Yeah.
Supernatural takes like a year to watch. It's the whole thing. My brother did that. He watched the whole series. It took him like a year, and then he's like, "I don't want to watch anything ever again."
I've done that with shows, though. I mean, like, I've watched Futurama.
I'm gonna do that with Breaking
times,
Bad. I need to watch through all of it.
I've actually watched Breaking Bad twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think Star Wars could have a cool show if George Lucas was involved. If he let somebody good do the writing.
Let's get Vince Gilligan in on Star Wars.
Vince Gilligan.
Have Breaking Star Wars.
Breaking Story. A solo story. No. How did you get your name? Well, I was standing there, and I told them my name was Han, and I was alone, so they said Han Solo.
Yeah, that could have been thought out a little bit better.
They wrote Solo, a Star Wars story, in like 15 minutes on a bar napkin, I guarantee it. Fucking Rogue One I enjoy a lot. Of all the new Disney ones, Rogue One's my favorite.
Oh, that was great. It had that guy from...
I love the Darth Vader scene, man. That's the best part.
That's that guy.
And that was a reshoot. That was a reshoot to end there.
The guy from Bloodline, the one brother from Bloodline, it's a Netflix show. That was the he was the guy that came up with the plans for the Death Star. He was like wearing a white.
Oh, the Krennic guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
He was shot by the Death Star.
He was in Dark Knight Rises. He was Where's Bane? He played Where's Bane?
Where's Bane?
You know, like when they do the honest trailers, at the end they would say his name's Where's Bane?
Yeah.
I want Bane, and then Bane comes and just breaks him because it's fucking Bane.
We always seem to bring it back to Batman.
It always comes back to Batman.
It always comes back to Batman because
You chose the wrong decision on
I mean, how can you compare Star Wars with Batman?
On one hand, you have a guy who was trained by an old guy who lost everything. And on the other hand, you have a young guy who was trained by an old guy who lost everything. And then in the Lord of the Rings, you have a young hobbit who was trained by an old guy on a journey to take something into do exactly the same shit. And then Harry
that's
Potter.
The problem of oversimplifying.
Harry Potter. It's about a kid who gets taken to some old guy so he can be trained to fight the bad guy. They're all the same fucking movie.
Oh God.
It's like, I really like Lord of the Rings, but you know, Harry Potter was just dumb. It's like, it's the same movie,
You
man.
just ruined a lot of, like, A-class movies for people.
I know. It's like exactly the same plot.
They'll rewatch them and then it'll be like, there's meaningless. You know?
The only way to find meaning is by watching the 2000 live-action The Grinch movie with Jim Carrey.
I actually liked that one.
I enjoy it, and Ron Howard did that, and he did Solo.
Ron Howard did that?
Yeah. That's why his brother's in it. Terrence Howard's in it. I think his brother's in Solo also. I had fun with Solo.
Taylor Momsen was in The Grinch. Now she's in The Pretty Reckless. Yeah,
oh
Pretty
yeah.
Reckless. I thought that was cool because it's just like Jim Carrey probably tormented that girl with some heavy metal, and she never forgot it and started The Pretty Reckless after that.
Now who's The Pretty Reckless?
It's you'd have to listen to it.
It's a metal band.
I wouldn't say it's metal. It's more like you'd have to listen to it. It's like it's more rock type
Okay.
style.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good. They have some good songs.
That's okay.
I'd check it out.
Free real estate.
For them. Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. We seem to be good advertisers for people because
Yeah.
we're sitting here reviewing all these movies and they don't pay a shit.
I don't make any money.
Yeah, guys.
You please donate to the
Yeah.
Kevin and Alex Foundation.
Yeah, well,
It helps support Kevin and Alex's movie habits.
yeah. Yeah, so
So-
we can get more for you.
Yeah. The more we get, the more you get.
Look, it's a double. It's a double thing.
So it's like you're winning and we're winning. So like
I feel
we're
like
all
there's
good.
a term for that. I think it's called a win-win.
Yo.
Ooh.
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 I like that.
Come on, guys. Let's get
I
on
like
this.
that.
Let's get on this stuff, guys. I mean, we kind of have to set it up.
We're gonna
first,
get that
but-
Patreon game
Yeah.
going for you guys.
Yeah, but we would very much appreciate it if you guys supported us. That would.
Oh yeah.
Actually, you can a second time here. I'm gonna milk it here. You could also support us by subscribing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull that out.
Yep.
All right.
We're gonna change the life of many children.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna by buying records at a record shop to help small children, right? And by small children, I mean the small child and me and Kevin.
We'll buy from places that donate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I'm not saying we
we
will.
buy records for small children.
I would actually.
Records for kids.
That would actually be kind of cool.
That'd be cool, but why would kids want records? They'd be like, I want an MP3 player. No, they wouldn't want an MP3 player. They were like, I want an iPad.
It's kind of true. How the hell?
Kid, I gave you fucking 3 CDs and you want an
Are you
iPad?
supposed
Fuck
to
you.
walk up to him and be like, "Here's an iTunes gift card. Listen to I wrote some recommendations on the back. There you go."
Yeah, no,
It's
I
not
give him
really
my fucking CD. Yeah, new cars don't even have CD players in them. What the hell's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, here's what
What's
we do.
up with
Here's
that?
what we do. All right, we buy CD
What's
portable CD players and CDs for the children, and some cheap headphones.
Yo, let's get them some Los Angeles Rams Super Bowl champion stuff because they just lost, so you get it real cheap. yo, kids, we couldn't get you Patriots champions because that actually cost us money, but we get you Rams
We'll do an
championship
old
gear.
trick. We'll rebrand it. We'll buy the boom boxes from the Rams, and then we'll just paint over top of the Rams symbols and sell them as Kevin and Alex podcast stuff. There we go.
Yo,
Guys
we could
talking
use the
about
St.
stuff.
Louis Rams because the Los Angeles Rams aren't in St. Louis anymore, so
Can ride the dick of the Rams.
we
to get
are
us
the St.
going.
Louis Rams. Hashtag put that in your casket.
He just called us losers, guys. That's
I just burned you so bad you're dead.
just like Palpatine.
Just like Palpatine. Yeah. I love when he zaps himself in the third one when
think
he's shooting it
about
at
that.
Mace
Think
Windu, and he
about
just
that.
keeps shooting it.
He's shooting it, and he's like, "He's killing me! He's killing me!"
You just
and
have to
it's
stop
like,
shooting
"You're
yourself."
killing yourself.
During the whole thing, all Palpatine had to do was like put his hands down, and he's good.
Yeah, he's like, "I can't keep it up. I'm losing my power." And it's just, and Anakin's just like, "Stop it."
He's like, hey, Mace, could you please stop? You're killing him. It's not the Jedi way.
That's not cool, Jesus.
Jesus wouldn't be happy with you. And then Mace Windu's like, and then he stops, and then he's like,
Then he gets kicked.
Anakin, he's going to stop. No power.
Then he gets kicked out the window.
Unlimited
Yeah.
Power.
Samuel L. Jackson thinks that Mace Windu is still alive.
I bet he does. He's like, only brother in the universe with powers gets sent out a window by some ball sack looking motherfucker.
You know how he got the color? You know how he got the color of his lightsaber?
Didn't he tell George he wanted it
Yeah,
or
he
something?
asked
He's
for
like,
it.
yo, can I have a purple lightsaber? Oh, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And think about this. The story of lightsabers is all about kyber crystals and like how it resonates with your soul and all that. And Samuel L. Jackson is the only Jedi that has a purple lightsaber.
That's pretty cool.
So like he's
He's legit. and
He's
except
got
for when
that
his arm
Pulp
gets
Fiction on there.
yo. Does he? Yo, they're looking for
You think
Palpatine.
think
Does
about
he
that.
look like a bitch?
The number one move for Jedis and Sith is cutting people's hands off.
Yeah.
Anakin, Luke,
Mace Windu got his hand.
Windu, Count Dooku before he got his head cut off. Both
Obi-Wan
of
got
hands.
cut in half.
He did, but he
So-
kind of like disintegrated at the same time. Disappeared.
Snoke got cut in half like a bitch. Because Episode 8 was a good movie. It was so good. It was so good it was progressive. You just don't understand because you're not smart enough to get its progressive undertones. You're just not smart enough.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny how people make all these theories about it, and
And then none of it comes
them are
true
right.
because it was written by like 8 12-year-olds who give
Yeah.
no fucks about Star Wars. That's what happens with these things. With Michael Bay, like people are like, how are those movies so bad? The newest one, Transformers 5, was written by 14 writers. It had 14 different people touch that script. And you wonder why it's shit? You should have 2 people at most touching a script. Maybe 4 if you have like 2 guys as supervisors or like something to just bounce ideas off of.
yeah, I feel like with writing
Too many
stuff,
writing, it
once-
gets so much of a mess.
Once there's like, even with like, with a lot of things, like if there's more than 2 or 3 people, it starts to tear away from the original idea.
Yeah.
And then it's just people trying to make their own thing.
And then it turns into this hodgepodge.
Like if you have 2 or 3 people, you can at least have that original person that came up with the idea keeping the other 2 in line, being like, "This is the original idea. This is how I want it to be. I just want insight on this." You have 14 people,
Except when
you're
Fox
not going
wants to
keep.
change
You're not
what
going to
you're
be able to be like, "Yeah, I don't like what you 5 are doing." So
Well, the biggest problem with like I like Alien Covenant. Like I'm a big Alien fan, and that's definitely a recommendation for me. Is I'd say check out the Alien movies. But anyway, you watch Alien Covenant, and I was so excited because I love Prometheus, and I'm going in, and all of a sudden they're just like, all that stuff from Prometheus. Yeah, we're just gonna throw it away because, there wasn't enough alien in the last one because we did a survey and like 8 out of 10 people said they wanted more alien. So we thought we would just skip all the plot and go right to the alien. I still like Covenant, and I think Ridley Scott's a great director, and everything he touches, he puts himself into it. So there's at least that good aesthetic to it.
They should make
It
an
feels
alien
good.
movie where they build up suspense the whole movie, and then the last second you see an alien, and then it cuts to black.
That'd be a cool short film.
That would piss a lot of
That'd be a
people
cool
off.
short film, though.
Yeah, it would.
I'd do that.
for sure. Yeah.
I would so love to do an alien movie. Like, if they were like, if I was offered any directing job ever, if they came to me and said you could do whatever you want to do an Aliens versus Predator movie, that's what I'd want to do.
An Alien versus Predator.
But
you
here's
wanna
the thing.
remake it.
But yeah, we're not talking about those fucking movies.
But you want to. You would want to take that.
I would take it. Here's what it
handles
is.
on
It's
that.
going to be on a planet where there's colonial marines.
So you wouldn't have. it
They
be on
discover this alien hive of eggs, and they really don't know what it is because we're kind of at the earlier point of the war between all this.
Let's
and
get
the
this
predators
right.
are there.
He's giving a free idea here.
No, this is what I want to do. Come on, Fox, give me a call.
Yeah.
I got your movie
got
right
this.
here, bruh.
He's got the screenplay.
I got
right
the
in front of him.
screenplay right here, bro. I actually have an idea written down, but nobody's gonna give me a $200 million budget to make a.
That's all right. I have 2 screenplays going, and probably no one's
Yeah.
gonna give me money to make them. But
I have another one
I
about a
will
slasher
make them
guy.
with no money. I don't.
I came up
care.
with a slasher idea where it's like this guy, his kid gets run over by these drunk teens, and then he decides he's gonna go after and kill them. But here's the thing:
the drunk slasher guy gets run over by the.
no,
drunk
his
teens?
kid,
Okay.
he's like a young kid, and then he decides to come
Is he
kill
a drunk
them.
slasher before they get run over by the teens? Before his kid gets run over?
No,
Okay, so he has a purpose. He's not just
so
like a
so he's
serial
coming after,
killer.
and he takes him out. But I would do it with like a Drive aesthetic, so where it felt like that kind of like awesome synthy, like purples and vibrant colors and all kinds of awesome stuff to it, and then like the whole plot's just him chasing him down. So it's not high art, but it'd be a fucking fun fucking time. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that.
I might still do that. That's down the pike,
Yeah.
unless somebody else steals that from me, and then I won't be making a movie.
Well,
and
it's
then I'll be
probably
sad.
good that you're putting it on podcasts.
So it's good that I just told everybody about that idea. Yeah, that's great. Well, me and Tom are working on several movies here, and I'm excited for those to come out here. Looking forward to that.
It's good.
That's the thing about filmmaking is like you think it's a lot easier than it is, and then you get on a set and it's fucking so much
when
going on.
I was watching the Force, the first Star Wars came out.
So Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, I keep thinking A New Hope, but the
A New Pope.
A New Pope.
Star Wars, A New Pope.
We all need a new pope. I was watching it. I was like, I couldn't imagine writing the screenplay for this thing. Like,
well, he spent years doing the first one.
Years writing the first one, but you couldn't just write the first one.
Well, he spent like 8 years.
You would have to
doing
write
the original
to
trilogy
plan
story.
Everything up. Like
he kind of. Well, here's the thing. He kind of planned it out, and then he made changes.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. I mean, like you can tell
Like
throughout just those 3 movies, you can tell that there's changes.
Well, see, it was supposed to be Luke's Star Killer.
Star Killer, yeah.
And that's why it was funny in Episode 7 how it was the Star Killer base. Because it's like, oh, Star Killer. Oh, look, that's kind of cute for the extended universe people. And then they kill Han Solo, and it's like, no, Chewie's supposed to die on the planet. He was supposed to save something or whatever.
Chewie was supposed to die, but I like Chewie.
Well, I like Han Solo too.
But
I like
they're
Han
both
Solo.
cool. Think about it. Chewbacca's like the last Wookiee.
Chewbacca's like the last character from the original still alive.
No. The character that's made it through the most out of every single one of them is RDD2.
RDD2. RDD2 sounds like a character from a Woody Allen movie. Yo, I'm RDD2. I'm RDD2. Yo, I live down the street. I've been watching you from afar. I don't want to sound weird. I've been watching you. Okay. You're taking me out of context here. So I built no. See, no, it's funny. Oh, and there's your husband. Oh, no, it's all great. I'm RDD2. It's nice. No, it's nice to meet you. I'm just gonna go home now.
Well, R2D2 has been through it since the first episode, and he was just like some repair droid on some random ship.
Just some random ass.
They stole that ship, and then and like. It's like the most characteristic robot in the whole thing, other than C-3PO's like made for that though. He's made to talk to people, but like R2D2
human cyborg relations
has the most
C-3PO is so fucking gay
out of all of them. And I was wondering, did they change the design of R2D2 at all since the beginning, or did he actually look like that when it first came out?
Who knows? No,
because
I do think it changed.
The Blu-ray movies, and I'm just like, of the older ones, and I'm just like, there is no way that this came out back then. Like, I know that they added a bunch of stuff to it.
So what you're talking about the special editions now of the original trilogy, George Lucas's CGI enhanced versions. You're talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean that's.
So you think they changed R2D2? No, they didn't.
Okay, so he always looks the same.
Yes, he's always been blue and silver and white.
But I mean, he's a really detailed like compartments and shit like that.
In the special editions, though, there's actually a part where they CGI a rock in front of him.
Oh yeah,
I'm not joking.
I remember
it's
that.
fucking dumb as shit. It's like, what was the point of that?
And then they took it out later.
Yeah, see, I own the laser disc, so I have the theatrical versions of all of the movies, which is awesome. So there's no Jedi rock, the part in Return of the Jedi where it's
yeah. I was watching
the worst
scene
thing
and I was like,
ever.
What the hell is going on?
It's
here?
so bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad. It's worse than Jar Jar Binks.
They didn't have that scene in there at all.
Yeah, it's not in that. It's not in the original theatrical. No.
Did they have Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious in the Return of the Jedi? Did he look like that in the originals?
Yeah,
because I know that in the first one.
Oh, in 5 when you see the Emperor the first time, he looks like a fucking weird thing.
And he got like a monocle
these weird
thing.
He's got like those weird ass eyes. He looks like a chimp head.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like they use some weird kind of shit.
It looks like a cyborg type person.
Yeah. The Emperor looks fucking weird. And then they
made him look like the actor of that.
But the guy who played him in Episode 6 is the same guy from the prequels, Shane McDermott.
Really?
Yeah, Episode 6. He was just younger and they did a lot of makeup on him.
I wonder. I've always
It's the
wondered
same
that.
guy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always
episode 6 in
wondered
the
that.
prequels is the same dude.
I was like, is that guy the same guy? He sounds exactly the same.
Young Jedi.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's funny as shit.
Oh my gosh. But it's so funny that there is stuff like that though. Like episode 6, I do think episode 6, the one thing I will say, I love the ending of episode 6. It's so I actually like the special edition ending with the song that plays.
You like the
I like
ending
it more
of
than Yum
6 where it just kind of ends.
But it's happy.
It just kind
and then
of
fucking
ends.
episode 7's like, all of your heroes are going to die.
But like the fourth one,
Everything is bad. The world is
the
evil.
fourth one leads up. Like
Oh, the
you're
fourth
like,
one's great.
The next, I can't wait till the next one. You watch
Well, the fourth one, you didn't know there was going to be a next
the
one.
last one. I guess that's right.
When Star Wars came
Well-
out, you just had that movie. It was awesome.
Yeah, but you had Star Wars, and you're just like, you can't end it here.
Well, that's how it was.
But it's kind of like you knew it was an unfinished
They destroyed
story.
the Death Star. They defeated the Empire. It's over.
Yeah, but
And then they were like, let's have more.
Darth Vader lived. He just spun away.
Yeah, but what if he landed on a planet and was
Yeah.
like butt fucked by the hillbillies who lived there? You ever think about that?
Yeah, sure. The strongest person in the
Well,
force.
he found Buck, and Buck liked to fuck. So
Jesus Christ.
Buck, I'm Buck, and I like to fuck. You know.
But yeah, I guess you're right about that. They
He
saw
landed
that,
in the
they didn't expect it.
Tarantino universe, and he got raped in a dungeon.
But like
with Ving Rhames and Bruce Willis. You see they look over and Darth Vader's there, and they're like getting a cattle prod ready for his ass. It's like, what the fuck
you
is
think about
this?
it, 3 of the movies ended the same way though, because the fourth one, the
Episode 7 ends the same way as 4.
The seventh one.
Yeah, 4, 6, and 7 have the same ending. Them
And-
blowing up the Death Star.
No, not the 6th. No,
Yeah,
no,
the
no.
6th one's blowing
No.
up the Death Star.
Shut up. In the
I'm
first,
right.
You're wrong. The
And
Phantom
the first
Menace,
Phantom Menace, they blow a big thing up too.
You're right. You're right about the explosions. But I'm saying that they have the ceremony at the end.
Oh
They
yeah,
have
they
a
do.
ceremony at the end of the fourth
So
one.
all of the movies are exactly the same.
No, they don't have one in the 8th. Remember that one just kind of ends. Or no, not the 8th.
There's too many Star
the
Wars
second
movies,
one.
man.
There is too many. Like
I'm okay with
you
it.
hear something and they're just like, yeah, something's 6. And
You
you're
know how
just
many
like,
Godzilla
Jesus.
movies I have on VHS, and how can I talk about something being too long?
Yeah, but how many of them are just like you have to have watched all of them to understand the whole story? Probably none of them.
A handful of them, but
Godzilla, is that really?
a handful, like 3 or 4 of them.
You'd have to watch all
The
of them
original,
first.
and then the second one's like kind of a close sequel, and then Terror of Mechagodzilla and Mechagodzilla. The first time they did it they were connected, and then there was Godzilla 85 and Biollante were connected, and then there was the 90s ones that kind of were, and then there's the new Godzilla with the American.
All
and
right,
then
I wasn't really. I wasn't.
I didn't
including
want
the
an
new
in-depth
ones.
analysis of the Godzilla franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah, we
now.
should do a Godzilla episode. I'd be up for that.
I'd have to watch.
But we'd have
lot
to
of
spend like a year
Godzilla,
'cause
yeah.
there's 39 of those movies.
and I've seen like 5.
I've seen a lot of them
5?
because I was a sad, strange little child that had too much free time.
I watched some of the.
and now I have no free time.
I've watched some of the Godzillas, not where he's fighting other monsters, but more of like where he's
Against
just
people.
fighting the city.
The first Godzilla movie's the best. The original, the Japanese one
Yeah, I
is
didn't see
great. I have the Criterion of it. You gotta see it, man.
I mean, I think those are the Japan. I think
The
they're
Japanese
ones.
We don't talk
that
about
I
the Matthew
saw.
Broderick one, so.
And then I saw that one.
No, we don't talk about the
But we
Matthew.
all
We
gr-
don't talk about the Matthew.
we all
Broderick.
grew up with that one.
No, we do not talk about.
You
It's
gotta
okay
say
on VHS.
You watched it the first
I've seen it
time,
several
and you're like,
times.
"This is badass," and then then
On
you watch the
VHS,
other
it looked
ones.
pretty good because the effects weren't terrible. On 4K, it looks so laughably bad.
Yeah,
the
some
effects are so
movies-
awful.
Some movies aren't meant to watch
To
in
age.
4K. It's not the
That's
aging
also
thing. It's just like some things are just better on VHS. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Horror
like
movies are better on VHS, and I will.
it's like
put my
some
name in that.
bands are better live and some bands are better on the album.
And sometimes they're Led Zeppelin, and they're great at everything.
Uh,
But Grateful Dead, their live show, man, can't beat them live. But then their albums, I like a lot of their albums, but like Some people are like, oh, their albums aren't as good as them live. Well, then get their live albums, man.
If you're saying you can't beat Grateful Dead live, then I counteract you with the band that you just said you can't beat in the first place, Led Zeppelin, live.
Well, Zeppelin was fucking awesome.
Boom. 3 hours of fucking show, no opener.
Grateful Dead would do like 3 sets, and each set was 2 hours. They'd do a 6-hour show.
Good for them. They're just fucking around the
They
whole
could
time.
go. No, but they were great, man.
Well, Cream was also a...
Cream was great, but I
they were
love
a
Grateful
jam.
Dead,
They were
man.
the original jam band. They were like the first... At least... I think they were the first. Jesus Christ. You know how far off we've gotten from Star Wars?
Star Wars The Last Jedi, the last time you pay to see one in theaters. This December, your childhood will be ruined by an asshole who gives no care for any of the fans. Oh, I got a great one. Here we go. I'll do it. Okay, here's my Last Jedi. This December, watch as everything promised in the last film is thrown away in the trash can so that we can subvert expectations and deliver a mediocre film. Watch as your favorite characters from the last movie, your favorite characters from the originals die so that these new characters that you don't give a shit about go to a casino planet so you can see propaganda. And then they take out the Empire by going somewhere and Luke disappearing.
You think when they were writing the Last Jedi, they're just like...
They were probably laughing. They're like, haha.
They're like, man, JJ took out Harrison. I think I want to take someone out too.
I'm going to take out Luke, and I'm going to have Leia fly through space like Mary fucking Poppins.
You know what? I think... Here's my prediction. Rey has to be a Skywalker.
Skywalker.
For the fact that Luke is dead. He took him out.
Yeah.
And...
He can't be
dead.
And
Leia is, like... dead in real life.
Leia's fucking
so
dead.
They have to take... I mean, they have... I know that they have some stuff that they're putting in the movie, but, like, they can't have her...
She's not going to be the main character.
Yeah. And there still is imbalance to the Force, so there's got to be something to that
Kylo
original
Ren
thing.
Becomes good.
Oh, God, I forgot Kylo Ren. You know,
you forgot
he's a
emo.
Skywalker.
And he is. He's
not. He's not a Skywalker, though. I mean,
he's
related
Solo.
to Skywalker. He's a Solo.
He's Ben Solo.
But actually, he is a he's in the Skywalker.
He's Skywalker blood.
So you're right.
But Rey should be a Skywalker so that their brother, that they're cousins, and then their unity brings balance to the Force.
Cuz I get that would make sense. It's kind of
that's cheesy as fuck.
They made it so cheesy now. Like that, they shouldn't have made these last 3. They ended it
Get
good
him,
where it was.
Oh my God! Have you seen Texas Chainsaw 3D?
God.
Have you heard of the third? Okay, so they made a Texas Chainsaw movie for 3D. It was supposed to be like a sequel to the original, but it's okay. I enjoyed the fucking shit out of that movie, but it's fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where Alex Daddario, who's really hot, they basically say that her cousin is Leatherface. She lets him out.
Say what she's been in. She's just like, yeah. Their indicator is that she's really hot. You figure it out.
Oh, she's not there for her acting qualities. So she shows up and she's like pretty much naked, but the guy's like playing with her shirt with a chainsaw, and all of a sudden Leatherface just like cookies. It just runs out and then gets the chainsaw and then cuts these people in half. And the one guy's Clint Eastwood's kid in real life.
What is he, the Cookie Monster?
And she's like, get him, cuz. And it's the dumbest fucking movie.
Fucking Cookie Monster going from like the Sesame Street, and he's like, oh, I gotta go to my other job, and then he goes out, gets like, oh, I forgot my mask. Oh,
I need to bathe in the blood. Bathe in the blood of the infidel.
Let me get some Cannibal Corpse.
That was a weird turn for the franchise, but I gotta say,
that is funny.
It was a turn for the best, I have to say. I enjoyed the last so many of those Texas Chainsaw movies because some of them are just fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
There's one where Matthew McConaughey slaps himself in the forehead like 8 times, holds a shotgun in the air, and basically does the from SpongeBob when they have the nets in their hands. They're like,
How
yeah,
the
it's
Matthew
so
McConaughey
outrageous.
was in
And Renee
Texas
Zellweger.
Chainsaw?
It's Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, and they're the stars of this movie. The movie sat on the shelves for 5 years because neither one of them wanted the movie to be released.
I was just gonna say that movie must have lost.
They were trying to bury it
a
because
lot
they'd
of
been in
money.
like Dazed and Confused and other stuff, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" And then that
Where-
came out,
where he's a fucking creep, and he's just like, you know what?
and he has the
you know
Darth
why I
Maul
like
robot legs. I'm
high
not joking.
schoolers?
McConaughey.
I keep getting older, and they stay the same age, 17.
In Texas Chainsaw
just
4.
below the legal age.
Texas Chainsaw. I'm not joking. He has robot legs like Darth Maul from the Clone Wars.
In
cartoon.
what?
Yeah, in the fourth Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, Matthew McConaughey's character has robot legs. I'm not joking, and it comes out of nowhere. It's so much like. It's almost Halloween Resurrection level good, and that like it's the most outrageous fucking bullshit. Halloween Resurrection is a perfect movie because there's a part where Busta Rhymes beats up Michael Myers.
How do you go from a movie that's based off of a real serial killer that like
Ed Gein
made a mask out of people's bodies and
That's
like
some fuck
a
shit.
belt out of people's nipples and shit like that, and it's just like you go and give Matthew McConaughey robot legs.
It's like you just take out all the authenticity.
You know,
of
I
this
like
series.
Star Wars and I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So let's mix 'em together.
Mix them together.
But wait a minute, when they filmed that, Darth Maul hadn't happened yet. So maybe George Lucas was inspired by Texas Chainsaw 4: The Next Generation.
So here's a good question: did George Lucas write for the Clone Wars at all?
I actually have no idea.
Because how is it canon if George Lucas didn't do it?
Oh, that is the question.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's check Clone Wars, Star Wars, Clone Wars, the television series. Oh, here we go. Tom Kane. No, I'm joking.
Bill Finger.
Matthew Wood.
Frank Miller.
Yeah, directed by Frank Miller. George Lucas, 128 episodes for writing. So,
Oh, okay,
yes,
yeah.
very much important
Yeah.
with the Clone Wars show. So, if you liked the 3D Clone Wars show, you actually like George Lucas. So,
Good for you guys.
you guys are admitting it now. You actually like George.
I'm gonna have to check that out, or maybe watch a few episodes and decide that I don't
It's
have time.
it's
for
really
that.
hokey and cheesy, but
Is
so
it?
are the prequels. But they're enjoyable if you go in with like an innocent kind of look at them.
I mean, it's part of the prequels. It's in between two, isn't it?
Yeah, it's between 2 and 3.
Yeah. So it's prequels. It's got that like Jedi-ness
Yeah,
to it.
It's
where
got
everybody's
Jedi-ness.
just like, we have hope. We have hope, and then you get to the third, you get to the last three, and it's just like we're all hopeless. We're all slaves, and we have these people that used to be clones, but now they're freelance.
They used to be a clone, and now one day he finds that he doesn't know who he is.
You know, there's an amusement park on the Death Star.
Did you know there was a Death Star? Did you know there's been 3 Death Stars?
3.
Death Star 1, Death Star 2, and Star Killer Base. Death Star 3.
I don't consider that.
It's a Death Star. It's the same fucking thing as
No, it's not.
Episode 4.
No, it's
It's
not.
the same movie.
No, it's not.
I already explained how it's the
no,
same
it's
movie.
not.
Disney's been ripping off people since the beginning of time.
The Death Stars were stations. That's a fucking planet.
I'm triggered. Triggered. Can you imagine that? Like, if like somebody was seriously like just a podcast going on, all of a sudden somebody's like, triggered. You know, just like.
That Tom back.
Yeah, get Tom back. Yo, Tom. Tom called me yesterday, and he's just like, and Tom basically was just like, oh, yeah, I can't do this podcast anymore. And I was like, oh, but it wasn't yesterday. It was a long time ago. I'm joking. I hope Tom's listening to this because that would be nice because that says that people listen to our channel. But
I think people listen to our channel, but I don't think Tom listens to our channel. He's meditating. Or
he was. I'm listening to Marcus Aurelius because I'm better than
I'm
you.
sticking to my routine.
Oh no, we can't go there.
Yeah, that's me.
That's a low blow on the Tom, man.
Anywhere else you want to go with this? Star
Okay,
Wars?
let's quick recap. So we did the original trilogy, right? Did we talk Ewok movies? Those abominations.
You mentioned them. Yes.
Okay, real quick. If you want to watch the funniest terrible thing you could find,
The holiday special.
Holiday Special's the worst thing ever. That's an abomination. Don't watch it. Ewok movies are fucking terrible, but they're funny. The Droids cartoon show is pretty good. It's the only redeemable part of the X-Men special. They're good relatively. Like, I'm not going to, like, Breaking Bad is a little bit under the Droids cartoon show. No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, God.
But we went and we talked the special editions. So in the 90s, George Lucas re-released the originals, and he messed with them, and he tampered with them, and he had... in the first movie, he adds a whole bunch of CGI. In the second movie, he added a scream when Luke falls, which was unnecessary. And then the Wampa. I will say one of the cool things, Episode 5 special edition's actually pretty good.
They
because
changed
the Wampa stuff made it, I think, maybe a
They
little bit
changed
better.
the way that Obi-Wan like did a scream and like he did some Force yell thing.
Yeah.
He changed it a few different times, and I think they just went back to the original.
Yeah, George keeps touching stuff, and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you should keep doing that. I really think you should stop because it was good the first time. Like, another thing, Howard the Duck is what George Lucas did after Star Wars, so that just goes to he didn't direct it, but he kind of produced that thing, and like, oh, this is my baby, Howard the Duck. The first Marvel, I'm not joking, it's the first Marvel movie. The first movie Marvel ever did was Howard the Duck.
How is that a Marvel movie though?
It's a Marvel movie. Howard the Duck's Marvel. It's Marvel Comics, and it was actually produced from Marvel.
It's a superhero
Marvel,
duck.
yeah, he's part of the Silver Surfer Fantastic Four universe. I'm not joking.
No.
Howard the Duck was in Guardians of the Galaxy end credit scene. Or he's just like there, yeah. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, end credit scene.
I guess that makes more sense with the Guardians of the Galaxy reference there.
He was kind of terrible. Like, Howard the Duck is one of those movies
It's
I want to
terrible.
watch. I want to watch as a what the fuck review. That's my new series. I'm going to pick these movies that are known for being notoriously terrible and then just rip the movies to shred. Like, I'm going to have to do like an in-depth analysis and stuff, so that's going to take some time to do them, but I definitely want to get doing these what the fuck reviews. So I think that's pretty cool. We talked sequels, we talked Clone Wars and Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, just real quick. It's like a continuation of like the Clone Wars kind of thing.
It's like later. It's like they
it takes
continued
place
the
between
series.
3 and 4 in that cap. So that was pretty cool. Rogue One was good. Solo was
Oh
good.
wait, I have a problem with that.
Howard the Duck.
They wouldn't be clones.
I don't even want to
They
go
wouldn't
down
be
this rabbit
clones.
hole.
They'd be fucking just regular people.
Anyway, we have George Lucas with Howard the Duck. He also went on to do Kingdom of the Crystal Skull after the prequels. So there's that to his credit. And then, yeah, he did the prequels, so it's like, the Star Wars fandom can be good, bad, and ugly. You know, like, it's good when we all get together. When not Force Unleashed, which is a great
Yes.
game.
That's
But
a
when
great
Force
game.
Awakens came out, everybody was so hyped and everybody loved it. And then Episode 8 comes out, Last Jedi, fucking everybody hated. And then all of a sudden we all reassessed Episode 7, and then we're like, wait a minute, that movie wasn't good now. Because now it means nothing. It's inessential drivel, and it's not good. It's beneath me.
If you think about it, the last three are all inessential to the thing. I mean, like, they could have ended it. It would have been fine. They dragged it on by having Luke create some more Jedis. When he could have been the last Jedi and died with it, and nobody would have known.
That would have been an actually good movie if it was like Luke sitting there and he was just like living out his last days, and he's like, you know what, I'm happy, and every day I have is a gift, and like all this shit.
That'd be
It's
a
just
horrible movie.
Not if you gave it to like somebody who's a good director, like Lars von Trier would find a way to
Everybody
make
would
that
be
interesting.
looking for it, like the dark side struggle and stuff like that, and they'd just be watching a movie about some old guy that has PTSD about killing his dad and all this stuff.
And then now, instead, he attacks the Omen in the middle of Episode 8. I hated Looper for that reason. It was literally the Omen mixed with Terminator. So I was like, the whole time, everybody's like, this is the most original action movie ever made. And I'm like, it's literally the Omen mixed with Terminator. How's this original? And it was the dopiest thing. The fucking kid pissed me off. It was the dumbest shit. When are people going to learn that kids should not be in movies? Like like a little demon kid who's like, "Rrrr," and then the whole building explodes and everybody's like, oh my god, he's the most powerful thing ever. And that's the other thing about the sequels trilogy. Everybody's like, Rey's overpowered as fuck. Like, she hasn't done anything and she's perfect at whatever she does. It's so boring. Who's rooting for a character that's perfect?
She hasn't done much though.
She defeated Kylo Ren the first time she touched a lightsaber, and she beat Luke in a lightsaber duel. It's all bullshit.
She didn't beat him though. They got split apart by the fucking planet getting ripped apart.
But she, like...
Didn't they both, like, lose almost?
She cut his face, though. More.
Well, they both suck. I think that's more of an insult to Kylo Ren than to her. I mean, like, he's been training his whole fucking life, and he's just
sucks.
like, yeah, he fucking blows.
He blew.
He blows. He blows.
Well, ain't that a hoot?
Ain't that a hoot.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
And anything else you want to go on with?
So, fandom, yeah. The good is that, like, when we get together, it's cool. The bad is when Last Jedi happened, everybody lost their fucking shit.
Yeah,
I remember there was like a solid like 3 or 4 month period where I couldn't go on YouTube without finding new Last Jedi hate stuff.
Yeah, you
and
know,
it's kind of hilarious.
before that movie came out, there was like
I would call that the ugly though.
There was a split between the fans in Star Wars, but everybody was together at a point. But when The Last Jedi came out, it put a very big gap in between those people, and now they're two different sides of the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah. Now,
yeah, like,
if I asked you what your favorite Star Wars movie or movies are, so like your top tier, what movies are in it?
okay, so I was trying to figure this out the other day, and I don't think I could really pick one as my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely the first two that came out were the best two.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Star
I even wrote that
Wars
down.
And
Empire.
Empire.
They're my
yeah.
two favorite, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like 6, then probably Rogue One, 3, and then I have to think about it.
I would probably go 3.
Maybe 3 then Rogue One.
I would probably go 3 and then... So... Rogue One's different for me because it was a good movie. I liked it and stuff, but I don't really...
It's pretty inconsequential.
I don't like it. I just don't like these new movies that are continuing this old thing that like was there. You know,
These
like,
unnecessary movies that have added nothing.
They're just trying to get money off of somebody
The
else.
search for more money.
Yeah.
Spaceballs too.
And it's like some things should be just left where they were.
Yeah, like, well, and that's the kind of thing where I have people who complain about the Hobbit movies, and they're like, did we need more? Like, Lord of the Rings was, like, perfectly done.
All right. The Hobbit.
I did like the Hobbit movies.
I like the
thought they're
Hobbit
pretty good.
movies, but the Hobbit would have been great as one movie.
Or one, yeah. One really long one or two kind of long.
Because the Hobbit's a book, one book.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Lord of the Rings, each one of the Lord of the Rings books is longer than the Hobbit.
If you've ever read the books.
Like, by almost double.
He made the Hobbit as a book that a kid could read.
Yeah.
But if you go to Lord of the Rings,
no,
they are like the most highly sophisticated. Like, they're not like sophisticated. They're just a hard book to get through.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah, they're
huge.
They're detailed.
They're like Stephen King books.
Yeah. And then there's the history behind them all and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, forget where I was going with. Oh, the Hobbit. Yeah, they split one book that was kind of simplified already into 3 movies, which they were
a fun enough time, though.
They were
I
fun.
had a good time.
Yeah, but they could have. You're right. They could have made it in 2 movies or something. And
yeah,
it would have been. I feel like they could have got more out of it. Even though they wouldn't have milked it, I guess.
Well, here's the thing: make 3 movies because then people could go see it 3 times. You know, they see your movie franchise, and then you make a lot more money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was the point.
That's
why.
That's why we make movies, for money, not because we enjoy making them or we like art. It's all about money. Because the only thing that lasts is money, right? That's the one thing they say, right?
You know what I think is
not
funny?
art.
No, I think
money.
It's funny. People that don't have money make art the way art's supposed to be made. But once people get money, then they make other things for money. Yeah. And it's just like, you already have the money.
I kind of hate the studio
Why do you
system,
have to, like, yeah. If you already have the money, why do you care about the money. I feel like
It's all about more money, because if I have more money, I get more money. There's no good reason. It's just more green equals more green.
yeah, and
Don't you understand? My bottom line is my only line.
and money is everything in life.
Money makes me happy.
My robotic life has no meaning unless there's money.
More money. Send more paramedics.
Yeah, if
No,
you're
I'm-
gonna take anything away from this Star Wars episode, it should be that life is more than money.
Hug a family member.
Hug a
today.
family money. Yeah.
Hug a family money?
Yeah.
Hug the family money jar.
Because in Star Wars, they don't use money; they use credits.
They use credit. Yeah, from cash converters, right?
All
That
their
cash converter credit.
I don't know what credit cards they're using, but they probably all have horrible credit.
Yeah, frickin' Obi-Wan's like, oh, so when I want to balance my balance sheet, I needed to debit the credits and credit my debits.
That's why he
Oh.
let Darth Vader cut him in half. He's just like, Luke's gonna take my credit score after this. Ha ha ha.
He'll take all of my debt.
Yeah.
When I'm a ghost, I don't need debt. I don't need to eat because I'm a ghost.
Then he'll get there and the fucking credit score guy's there. Oh shit.
Looks like you're going to hell. What?
Yeah.
That was the only thing that mattered? Your
Yeah.
credit score is the only thing that matters. In Capital One Heaven.
Yeah. No space ghost if you have a horrible
Heaven
credit.
is sponsored by Capital One, so if you don't have Capital One, you go to hell.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of bullshit is this? God's just a big fan of Capital One. Just really likes their service. It's like, oh, come on.
That's funny. So,
Yeah, so for
So,
favorites,
yeah.
I'd say the original and Empire are the best. I really like them. And I think some suggestions for you guys. If you want some movies that are a little bit more like, the original and Empire, that are a little bit more slower paced, but they're going to have a lot more weight because of it, Blade Runner and Alien are fantastic. And I definitely say the whole Alien franchise. Watch through all of it. Tell me what you think about everything. I know some of them aren't as good as others, but the first Aliens, and even to some extent Alien 3, I definitely think are all worth the watch. I think all of them are worth the watch, actually. I'll go as far as saying that. The first two are the
Yeah.
best, just like Star Wars, but the
Well,
other ones are worth watching.
while we're talking about Blade Runner, I would be looking forward to a
2049.
Blade Runner
The anime's
review
coming.
up soon.
Oh, we're going to do Blade Runner, definitely. And there's a new anime series coming out for Blade Runner, which would be perfect timing to do that for that.
Okay.
So Blade Runner, Alien, THX 1138, which was George Lucas's first feature film. It's really good, but definitely do it if you find the theatrical cut, because oh my gosh, the director's cut, George, he put a lot of CGI in it, and it takes the tension out of some scenes. Because there's some scenes where it's like really good in the theatrical cut. You watch the director's cut, and it's laughably bad. And it's like, George, don't touch your fucking movies. And then you watch American Graffiti, and then they add CGI to that too. It's like, come on. And then my last suggestion is the Terminator series. I'd say the first two.
I would also recommend that. Yeah, that's
So
great.
yeah, Blade Runner. I'll do that series. So Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
For Blade Runner, do the final cut. That's the best version of the movie. Alien's great. Do Alien 1 and 2, and if you're feeling lucky, do the third one. Just know that the third one's probably going to piss you off with some things. It pulls a Last Jedi, right? It's going to piss you off, but if you get through it, you'll enjoy it. And then the rest of them are kind of crazy. THX 1138 is a good one if you can find the theatrical from George. Also, American Graffiti, that's another George Lucas movie. And then the first two Terminator movies are good movies. Great time. So
Yeah.
definitely think Star Wars is worth the watch.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it already, I know we just spoiled everything, but definitely Star Wars is worth the watch. I definitely suggest watch the original trilogy first and then go from there.
If you're lucky enough to have not seen it,
Yeah,
and
oh my
get
gosh.
that opportunity to see it in that order, then I would.
It's so
recommend
cool.
seeing that,
Think about
'cause-
like if you could rewatch Star Wars for the first time again, not know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that is. Oh,
I feel like your views wouldn't be the same then. Be different. 'Cause
Yeah.
we grew up with it differently, you know.
yeah. I watched.
We grew up with the prequels, and then
Yeah.
other people grew up with the original series. So we definitely have a different view on the prequels, and we definitely think that it's we have a better
I think we like the prequels
yeah,
more
we
than
like
other
it
people.
more than a lot of people because we grew up with it. But
The
I
originals,
wouldn't discredit them at all because they definitely hold up to the originals. Just
not as good.
Not as good. Yeah.
I think I enjoy just about every Star Wars movie. I would say the Christmas special is bad. The Ewok movies are pretty bad. I think they're good watches for like a hilarious kind of way. But Last Jedi just kind of destroyed all hope I have of good Star Wars movies coming out. And when Solo came out, it kind of felt like it's like, oh, are they going to try and pull a Marvel thing and do 2 Star Wars movies a year? Like,
They were.
do we need like 800 Star Wars movies, 10,000 Marvel movies, this, that, and the other thing? It's like, are people ever going to get bored of Marvel movies?
See, they were going to do that, and then I feel like they decided not to do that once people started bitching about The Last Jedi, and they're just like, wait, maybe people don't
Maybe
want
we're
this.
wrong.
Yeah, but...
And it's like, yes, you were.
yeah.
You suck. You suck, you motherfucker.
Yo, Joe Pesci would have been perfect as Darth Vader.
Oh, my
You
God.
motherfucker.
You motherfucker, you motherfucker. I asked.
Yo, dang.
Over
You
here.
think I'm some kind of funny guy?
You think I'm messing around over here? I'll put your head in a vice.
You fucker.
You motherfucker.
I'll make you have a mouthful of my nuts, you motherfucker.
You motherfucker, you.
Yo, the Snickers commercial with Joe Pesci's the best because, like, I can totally imagine him being like, "You motherfucker, you want a mouthful of nuts? You want a mouthful of nuts? I'll give you my fucking nuts, you motherfucker." Joe Pesci, I love him. He's even good in like Home Alone 2. Like that's how you know
yeah.
you're a good actor when you're good in Home Alone 2.
Yeah, but he was actually, like, slapping that kid. That's the thing.
Oh, the abuse was real
Yeah.
on that set.
So, is there anything you would want to wrap this up on this Star Wars episode here?
George Lucas's love. George Lucas's life. If you've ever seen that Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life, man.
Yeah, then you're probably as tormented as the
yeah,
people
you're
that have.
disgusting motherfuckers
Yeah.
like us.
Well, I think this was a good, we got off track a good amount, but, this was a fairly well put together episode
I think
here.
all in all, pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin was a little bit disappointing. I think he was lacking creativity like me. But
yeah, I'm a creationless loser over here.
Kevin's over here like Star Wars isn't even good. Like
I don't understand why people like this movie.
Why would anybody like Star Wars?
I think it's like Freddy got fingered.
Like, well, here's the thing. Like, Star Trek is so much better. Like,
Star Trek has replicators. And,
Star Trek Enterprise is the
like-
best show.
If a lightsaber just cut my hand off and I was in a Star Trek universe, I could just replicate my hand back on.
I would just call the Borg, and they would replace it, and then I'd be part of the Borg.
And I would be a Borg, and then I would be the master race.
I would be Man Borg. I am Man Borg. I am Man Borg.
Man Borg.
Man Borg is such a great movie if you want a crazy, gnarly
That sounds
thing.
terrible. Is it?
Oh, it is hilarious. I love Man Borg.
Is it Star Trek?
No.
Star Trek
Star
Man
Trek
Borg.
Man Borg.
Starring Patrick Stewart.
and Matthew McConaughey as a
Oh God.
as the
Please
guy
no.
from Texas Chainsaw 4.
As Robot Leg guy.
As Robot Chicken.
Hey, look.
Yo, it's
They made Will
Blue
Smith into a
Genie.
Smurf.
Yeah, Will Smith is the big blue Smurf. He's Smurfette in that Aladdin
jeez.
movie. Yeah,
That's gonna be interesting.
I can't wait to tear the Disney
Can't
live
wait to
action
tear that
movies
apart.
Yeah, I can't wait to tear Disney a new O-ring this
Yeah.
week. Like
All right, guys. It's been good. Good talking to you guys.
it'll be nice to talk to you next week when we can bash Marvel
Yeah.
again.
Remember to subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe, throw some comments down there, get us some information, and we'll try and tailor this experience for you guys.
Yeah.
Free real estate. Wow.
Wow. wow, guys, you want some free real estate?
You guys want some ShamWows?
Check out Bill Burr's podcast.
I
at,
can't believe it's not Bill Burr.
the Monday Morning Podcast.
The Monday
Or
morning.
check out Conan O'Brien's podcast at, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And if you need some underwear, free real estate here, get some MeUndies.
Yeah.
Sponsorship.
If you guys want it, we will make guys talking about stuff underwear, and we will make it available.
Yeah, we will. We'll get you that tree-made underwear. I hear it's pretty good stuff.
That underwear, it feels like an angel cradling your ball sack, apparently.
And
I don't know everything, but San Diego is a whale's vagina. in
That's
Dutch.
what it means. Yes, that's what. Yeah.
It's the Dutch call a whale's vagina. Freaking Will Ferrell, man.
God.
What if Will Ferrell was in Star Wars, man?
It would not be as serious as it is, probably.
What if you replace Qui-Gon Jinn from Liam Neeson with Will Ferrell, and he's just like, where's the boy? We have to get him to the Jedi Council.
I think they would have killed him earlier in the movie.
What if Jar Jar Binks was Will Smith? No. Hey, man, thank you for saying.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would take a different
Will
thing
Ferrell.
there.
Will Ferrell as Jar Jar. Thank you for saving me.
That would have been better.
I'm going to take you to my friends.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know.
It had been Step Brothers, but with Jedi.
Jim Carrey as Jar Jar Binks.
Jim Carrey could have done Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, he could have.
But Jar Jar would have had to be Jim Carrey, like
Insane. A little bit insane.
the number 23.
Yeah. Yeah. Split. Check it out. All right, guys.
Banana Split.
Have a good week, guys. We'll see you next
Yeah,
week.
guys,
around
we'll
this time.
see you on the morrow.
On the morrow.
We'll see you on the morrow.
We'll see you in half a fortnight.
We'll see you quite several fortnights away, and by that I mean I'm going to play Fortnite.
Jesus, several fortnights? What's that like?
I'll see you in 3 whole
See you in
fortnights.
6 weeks, guys. No, next week, guys. Friday.
Next week, this time, new topic. What are we doing, Kevin? What are we doing?
I don't know. There's many things we could do.
Oh, it's a mystery.
Yeah. Give us give us some suggestions in the comments.
Now you are going to be just wanting to know what's next. We're just trying to pad the runtime, honestly, guys. We're just trying to take your money.
Yeah, we don't get paid unless it's what is it? Fucking 4 hours here.
Yeah, so we gotta go. We gotta pad this for another 2 hours and
yeah.
change.
Yeah. So yeah.
You guys, you like Kids Bop? You like mac and
You like
cheese?
B101?
Yo, I'm a B101 fanatic.
Fanatic.
No. In all seriousness, Star Wars. Yo, get ready for it, Kevin.
I'm ready for it. I'm always ready for it. Come on.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Oh god.
This is not going to go the way you think.
But it is
But it is
going to
go the way
see
you
the
think.
future. You didn't think
I rest my case.
I see.
Because it's terrible. All right, see you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.